The following program deals with a controversial
subject.
The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation.
The viewer is invited to make a judgment based on all available information.
the top talents in the comic book business are here to tell everything they know.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Tuesday night, another Industry of Comics show, episode 78? 78, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was 77.
78. 78.
Okay.
77 was last week. So we got Jesse, who just did his 5th fantasy football draft, Dennis, who is in Toledo, and Emmet, who forgot his pickups. So we're just good to go.
Yeah.
We also have a great guest that's going to join us
We have
tonight.
a half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
Hit it.
We got a special guest tonight that's going to join us later. Shout out to our good friend Mark Spears. He's going to jump on and talk a little blind bag action with us tonight.
Make it a surprise guest now. Make them stick around.
No, they want to see Mark. Everybody wants to see Mark. Shout out to these guys right here, who I'm going to reach out to them. I think it was Mike. Mike, if I'm messing your name, Mike, let me know. I believe it was Mike Davis, maybe. Blurred's Underground in Chicago, who I met at San Diego this year at the Bad Idea Party. Saw him also at the Ignition Press Party. They sound like a good group over there, and we're gonna bring them on the Industry of Comics show. I'm gonna reach out to them to have them come on and talk to us about what it's like taking over a shop as new shop owners. They've been 4 years, I believe, coming up on their 5th, and it sounds very interesting what they're doing. So I'm gonna reach out to you, Mike. I'll hit you up on IG if you're on IG, or shoot me an email. I'll throw my email in the live chat again for you. Shoot me an email so I can get in touch with you and get you on the show. I'd love to get you guys on here and talk to you about what it's like.
And also drop Brian's email address somewhere on the dark web. Also, guys, so he gets lots of emails.
Fans only.
Yes.
Yeah, only feet.
Yeah.
Fansley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is there
there's
not
the,
a comic book fans only page?
There you go, Jesse. You're in.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
Don't get people in trouble, man.
Well, I know.
Jesus.
Or we can do what is it? Farmers only, comic book fans only.
Amish only. Yeah.
You guys saw that. You guys saw that thing, right?
Oh
I think
yeah, sure. The thing, of course.
No, the one Swag did a video on where it's like comics are like one of the biggest turnoffs for women.
I saw he did that women where he had 4 women on with him to talk about like what their turnoffs are for guys that collect certain things.
Yeah, but that was based on a national review of like #1 hobbies that will turn off a woman, and like comic books was like in the top like 2 or 3, if not the top 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I've been married twice, so
Yeah, there you go.
and quite a few in
Only
between.
proving that you didn't learn your lesson the first time, Emmett.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Well, you
Yeah,
marry
when
a
you show up-
stripper.
when you show up on your first date with a short box of comics, that's kind of makes it tough.
Shout out to our boy Mike, aka Funhouse Comics, for that super chat, $9.99 super chat. He says, "Because I felt like it." Hell yeah, Mike. Love you, brother.
Nice.
It's one of the OGs.
I thought it was because he ate beans.
I don't think everybody got to hear that, so we might have to play it again, right?
Okay.
All right. What do we got going on tonight, you guys? Well, we've got talk about Diamond. There's some new updates with Diamond, of course, like always. And just because Dennis wants to hear it again. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. So we have that. We have new Diamond talk. And then we're going to get into some interesting subjects. One, is Penguin Random House and Lunar doing a good job? And this is also a question for all you retailers out there. I spoke to a couple retailers the other night. We've got 3 of them on with us tonight. That's going to talk about whether we think they're doing well, bad, indifferent, whatever. So that's going to be interesting. Obviously, they're taking over for Diamond in a major way, and we all hope they do well. We'll see how that plays out in the future. We're also going to talk about what it's like going and setting up and selling at cons across the border, aka Toronto, Japan, the UK, Europe, and some of the things you have to deal with customs wise. Because
did you say Missouri?
You know what's funny?
I've actually set up in all 4 of those places, Brian, that you've said.
Yeah.
What's funny is I delivered some CGCs in front of the Jesse James house in St. Joseph, Missouri, and the lady in there thought I was doing a drug deal outside of their place. And so the cops showed up, and on top of it, my name's Jesse James, right? So they're like, well, you know, whatever, what are you on, drugs? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, we're trading CGCs, right? So anyways, that was my Jess James Comics experience, or Jess James Comics house experience, even though the train museum behind it is very, very cool. So
there you go. There you go. Jesus. The weird places you go to get comics. There's that famous crack house that back in the Flipside days that they had to go up into
murder
the
house.
The murder house. Yeah. Had to go in this guy's attic, and it was amazing what was up there, but you know, it was not good. So, but you know, sometimes
I'll
you gotta
go anywhere to get comics. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Amen, dude.
Yeah.
Amen. So, all right, let's get into some of the Diamond stuff, because there was some big stories. First of all, I want to talk about this one. You know, we've talked about
every time I'm out, they pull me back in.
We talked about the fact that we believe that Diamond could owe Dynamite over $1 million, you know, with all the, you know, books that they have sitting in their warehouse. Shout out to Ronnie, who just dropped a $4.99 super chat. Good to see you, my brother. He said, heist show, best show in comics outside of Toledo. Guest. Best show in comics outside of the Toledo guest. Shout out to Ronnie. Diamond is holding $1 million worth of Fantagraphic comics.
I think that's probably their big not the trades, but the big hardcover books that they do.
And stuff like that.
Does that add up a lot faster?
Here's the thing. Everybody, I'm gonna go on several little things throughout the night. So this is my first one. And Jesse, and we've been talking about it, Emmet, everybody trusted Diamond to hold all of their shit.
Yep.
You know,
they've been doing it for years.
They got, I'm not trying to blame the victim on this, but they got lazy. They trusted Diamond. And it's kind of like Animal House. You trusted Diamond. You effed up.
Where are they going to put it? Like, they don't have warehouses. These publishers,
right. Well, the
some
thing
of them are working out of a fucking office.
So at some point, they should have worked harder to fix Diamond if that's where they were going to rest all of their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like retailers weren't complaining.
True.
And they had somewhat of an idea. I'm just saying,
if everybody had all of this shit sitting there that they didn't have a place to store and they didn't have a backup plan to put it anywhere else, then they needed to work harder to fix this.
Well, let me read some of this because this is crazy. This is from the Fantagraphics blog and co-founder Gary Groth. He says, Fantagraphics is fighting JP Morgan Chase Bank and former direct market monopoly Diamond Comics distributors who are colluding to steal our books and use the resulting profits towards the cost of Diamond's bankruptcy. As you may have heard, Diamond distributors declared bankruptcy on January 14th of this year, which could have smooth the way for Diamond to continue operating and supplying comics to retailers, but instead caused chaos across the comics landscape, from retailers to publishers. JP Morgan Chase, one of the largest financial institutions in the world and secured creditor, and their debtor, Diamond, is now trying to legally seize all of the books held on consignment and owned by us, and through the arcane chicanery of bankruptcy law, liquidate them by bypassing any obligation to pay the publishers. In short, with our coalition, aka the Justice League of fellow publishers, are fighting this transparent piracy in the courts. As if this weren't bad enough, the legal incarnation of Diamond has been selling our books to retailers ever since their purchase on May 16th and not paying us a penny. 100% of the money retailers have paid them for our books has gone into their pockets, none into ours. Sadly, having the moral high ground does not diminish the losses we have suffered over the last 8 months. We are looking at millions of dollars worth of books being unfairly seized and liquidated from under us, books that our authors have sweated blood to create and that we've extended no little love to produce. Wow.
All
Holy
right.
cow.
I say this every freaking week. Before you write something, seek help from an attorney. Just ask them how to write something. Starting off saying the books were stolen when you gave them to them.
Right.
Yep.
All right. You can't steal what is given to you, regardless of what we kind of know what the intent is of what they're saying with that. Just you don't have to say that word. The second you say that word, you lose. And this is another prime example of a company trying to, they say they're playing the high ground, the high moral ground. What you just wrote is not the higher moral ground, and you probably want to keep that to yourself.
I want to correct Black Spiders in the chat. Wow, Diamond is gangster. New Diamond is making old Diamond not look gangster, and we all know the rumors about old Diamond. So let me correct that one, because I mean, in the wildest imaginations, nobody thought this was possible. 9 months ago. 9 months ago.
Yep. All this
and now
fixed.
we're literally looking at this.
Yep.
Can I? Yeah. I want to address something with this sale, the "we've been robbed" sale. I'm using finger quotes. 30% off store site wide. It's going to be a race to the bottom for the entire industry, and this is not going to help the retailers that paid 50% to stock your product on their shelves right now. Because right now, the people that are going to throw money to the publisher could be going to the retailers. Make a better offer to the retailers to buy your stuff, so you're not taking away the SRP. Yeah. It's interesting, man.
Yeah.
There really is a disconnect of that. This is an ecosystem that we all need to feed together. If we're not feeding together, it just all falls apart. And it's always been the publishers have discounted the retailers. Like, we're not their main customer. Like, I'm not, when I buy 4 of your books and nobody buys it that month, that I'm eating those 4 books. Because the week it's over, it's over. Like, you'll be lucky if you get cover price. Maybe 4 years down the road, you might get cover price, but not. But
especially though with Fantagraphics and a lot of these smaller press publishers, these are $50 hardcovers, $30 hardcovers that any retailer that invested in that product to support that publisher is sitting with that stuff on their shelves right now.
Yep.
They didn't screw you. Diamond screwed you. But when you knock 30% off, and I guarantee you guys, some of these publishers are going to go 50% off to make their nut.
Yeah.
And when they do that, that's literally half off the retail SRP.
Well, let's talk about this because there's a huge diamond sale going on right now. 75% off. They're dumping everything. Yep. Diamond dump right here.
580 pages, 10 comics a page. So 5,800 different titles.
Yeah, it's 12,000 plus items. This is something that, you know, what they're technically saying is let's get rid of the evidence, right? Let's just get it out there. And if someone wants to chase me for 30 cents and get their 19 cents, more power to you, buddy. But we need to move product out the door.
Well, it's not just that.
That's what they're doing. Yep.
The judge in this matter, I don't know, Brian, do you have that? This is one of the, so I've known a couple lawyers that have filed some class action suits before. This is the worst thing that the Justice League of Publishers could have ever had. This judge basically said, yeah, I know you're all being screwed the exact same way, but now you all have to fight it individually. They basically broke up the equivalent of a class action lawsuit into individual actions, which is,
some aren't going to have the money for the lawyers.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
This is dirty pool legal play.
Yep.
And by banding together and going with one lawyer to represent you all, to find out in the end, you now have to do it individually. Diamond, no matter what, is then file that paperwork, whatever it costs, $150, $200 to file it. And then all those publishers have to file at the same time. Then they got to go through all the motions. This is basically stretching it out to a publisher finally just puts their hands up and says, that's it. I'm done. I can't continue to chase this into 2026.
Right.
So go ahead, Emmett.
I was going to say, well, I mean, it's a huge loss, but it's a big write-off for the next, how many years could you write this off for? Maybe extend it out
that's
4
not
or 5
necessarily,
years.
Here's the, you got to make profit in 2025 if you want to be able to write something off. Right now, they've already got the write-off, which is whatever money that they lost from January to May, all the money that they've lost from May until July, and now all the money for lawyers, all these court costs. I mean, Jesse, just take a ballpark.
They could write off all that part. They could just write off all the product. And you could do it over several years.
They have bills due. Yeah. They've got employees. They got to have some money to get.
That's why you have 30% off sales at Fantagraphic. That's why you have, the Vampirella Kickstarter. Like these publishers are hurting because Diamond fucked them.
Yeah, but that happens regularly in business.
I know it
right,
sucks.
Exactly. It's kind of
not like this though, Emmett.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because this product was already paid off by the publisher, or they had to pay to make this product so that it gets the diamond, right? So the money's already crossed hands. So now they're trying to get money back, and you have to figure out how much money did they get before bankruptcy. The question in here, did Image screw this up? Yeah, definitely Image screwed it up because the judge is listening and say, why didn't you guys do what Image did?
Right.
Why did you guys?
But Jesse, there's definitely a con going on here. Okay, let's look at the actual statements that have been made. When April when we had Bruce Ogilvie on here? Was it March or April?
March.
Yeah, whenever that was. Bruce was like, hey, man, Diamond's operating. Just keep doing everything the way it is. It's going to take a long time for us to sign all the papers and get the keys. Then back and forth. Nothing from Sparkle Pop. And until like May 15th or 16th or 17th, when they said, hey, publisher, everything before May 15th is going to get taken care of by the money that we paid into the system. Everything afterwards, we're going to pay you all the money you're owed from May 16th on. And then a month goes by and nobody got a check. And then 5 weeks go by and nobody was picking up a phone. 6 weeks go by. They have to go to the courts and say, hey, we haven't gotten paid. And then 2 months later, and they're like, hey, by the way, we're going to sell all your shit and send that money to the bank so that we don't have to pay nothing to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all a scam. That's a lie. If you make a statement May 16th that says we're only responsible for May 16th going forward, you better pay it or you're on my shit list.
Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, we had the screw ups of the first 30 days by all the publishers not getting inventory counts like they were responsible to do and negotiate at that point. Number 2 was the non-filing of paperwork, their monthlies that they still probably haven't turned in. Obviously, Bruce coming on. Everything that has happened traditionally does not happen. The problem is the judge at some point is going to say to every single publisher, did you cease to do business because Diamond had your inventory? And if anybody is stupid enough to say yes, they're just then bury themselves. Their best thing to do is determine what are you then get out of this at the end. Can this make you money, or are you in this just because? And I think there's a lot of people that join the group just because and are now realizing that this did not work out. This has backfired on them. They're right back where they started from, and you're another 90 days out before you even get back into court. September 30th is the next hearing, but all these individuals have probably 60 to 90 days before they even get back into a judge individually. So during that time, can you do business?
Can I pause you for a second, Jesse?
Sure.
Some of these publishers might not have 60 to 90 days worth of cash. What was the big announcement that one of the publishers had 30 days worth of cash a month ago?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. That's a problem. Funhouse asks, I'm just curious what the possible light at the end of the tunnel is for retailers. Well, retailers, I think, are fine. I think it's the publishers that is the problem. Retailers can continue doing what these guys are doing, especially if you're a brick and mortar shop, right? You pivot, you sell more records, you sell more Pokemon, you sell more Magic the Gathering, you sell more back issues. Publishers is the big question. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel for these publishers? And I mean, getting their money back is about the only light, because they can still continue, but that's a lot of money. $1 million for a couple publishers. We had Ben Dunn on, who said, Antarctic Press is what, 35, 40,000, which is like $1 million to them, for a small publisher. Yeah.
Here's my question though. And this is, I guess, more to Emmet and Jesse than anybody else. Are you going to feel dirty participating in this giant 75-80% off Diamond sale when you know that money is not going to those publishers?
Great question.
Because I personally, that's me giving the guy on Facebook $100 for $1,000 worth of tires that might have gotten stolen off my friend's truck.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't feel guilty about it. I don't know why I would feel guilty about it. It's either I buy it or someone else buys it. I don't feel guilty when I buy out a store that goes out of business and he gives me a low ball position.
The publishers feel bad when they make an inferior product that I can't sell, that nobody likes.
Let me ask you this.
It's a business decision. They made a business decision to stick with Diamond. when the bankruptcy went into effect to not get their books. I mean, Jesse's gone over it multiple times. They've been there. They could have got them. They could have went with a truck and got them. They made a bad decision.
I don't know that they had that. Like I said, they've been being scammed since May. If somebody, I mean, yes, screw me once, shame on you, but Sparkle Pop was fresh hands. And they walked in with those keys and said, okay, we intend to pay everybody from May 16th forward. And then didn't pick up the phone. And then anybody who sent a truck, that was in the Image stuff. Image said, send our shit over here. And Sparkle Pop did not send it. Right? So they don't have clean hands. And I can't give somebody with the dirtiest hands, the blood of this industry on its hands, I can't give them money.
And that's the
and I'll just put it.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'll put it to you this way. Because I know how you feel about Brian Pulido. But if Coffin Comics had sent comic books to them back in January and couldn't pick up a pallet of comic books, tried calling them and said, hey, give us our Coffin Comics back, you would do that to your friend Brian?
Yeah, but Brian did it the right way and got his stuff out of inventory. At the end of the day, you are asking us to make a decision on what your opinion is. And the great thing that we have done for centuries is we have told people how to run their business. We now live in a time where people can make a business decision consciously and take advantage of situations that might happen to actually make a profit for their business. So should the business not do it and let your neighbor do it? Are you saying no store in the nation? So if I don't do it, no other store in the nation should be able to do it.
That's not what I'm saying at all, Jesse.
But that's what you just said.
No, he's just asking if you feel bad about it. That's what he's asking.
I feel bad about it.
I do not feel bad.
I haven't bought any of the books, but I'm not saying I won't buy any of the books.
Right.
I mean, I haven't made a purchase, but I'm not saying I wouldn't make a purchase.
I guess it's kind of like the Frankie's bankruptcy thing, right? Frankie's Comics screwed a lot of customers out of their books, and those books were being sold at a bankruptcy auction for pennies on the dollar, and a lot of retailers went up and bought those books out. I mean, it's the same kind of thing.
It's not the same. It's not the same thing.
At
Atomic Comics.
Yeah.
No. You're talking about legitimate sales, okay? And right now, everybody that we know that we have come on this show, the publishers of this industry are saying, do not sell our stuff. We want our stuff. Do not let them sell our stuff. This is our stuff, and they owe us money.
So why don't they offer us, like you said, a better deal at this website?
Well, first, I mean, we don't know. We haven't talked to them.
They already put the sale out. The 30%.
We just had 2 publishers on last week, Emmett, and they care about this industry.
Right, but they're not calling me and saying, hey, listen, we need to do some sales, so we're going to give you an extra 20% off if you can buy this much or that much.
Part of that goes to what we've been talking about since San Diego and what we're talking about this weekend. Who's taken Diamond shoes to speak on behalf of the retailers? No one. Penguin isn't going to do it. Lunar isn't going to do it. Who are you going to make that blanketed statement through? Diamond gatekeep all of us.
Do it.
Yeah.
What?
Comics Pro's not going to do it.
Comics Pro's not going to do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Diamond Gate kept us on the other side of their paywall. Pay us, use us. We'll get a hold of the retailers for you. When you want to have a sale, we'll contact them. Diamond's gone. Sparkle Pop is screwing all those publishers. How are those publishers supposed to get to us other than the 3 of us who know most of these publishers?
I have a quick question that I want to, before we get too deep into this. Jesse, can you explain what this article is talking about here? Because I don't think we ever explained it much.
Yeah, so basically what's happening is the judges come back and he said, for publishers to ask for their product back is fine, but they did it as a group. Diamond can't talk to one lawyer representing 25 publishers and get any numbers from each publisher correct. So they have to do what they have to do. They have to do it individually. So they're saying Diamond, before they sell anything, which they're already selling stuff, they're
selling it out.
Yeah, exactly. They have to meet with those people, create terms so that they can either sell their stuff or redistribute their stuff. The problem is what Diamond is doing. This is where Diamond is screwing up. They are paying this liquidation sale, right? And what is happening is now, just so you guys know, I haven't bought any of this stuff, but if I did, I would not feel guilty about it. But basically what they're doing is they're actually burying themselves by creating invoices and charging a store, because now you have a paper trail of what is sold.
Yep.
Versus, what is in we had talked about this before, what is in the storage? We don't know if they then go smash all those books afterwards. So basically what is happening is Diamond, any publisher that wants to get their stuff has to wait for Diamond to approach them. Then they will have to respond to Diamond's request to meet, right? And decide what is the best course to go to. By the time this happens, there won't be any good product. Yeah, it's all then be damaged. So the best course of action for a publisher next month is to say, hey, I saw your sale. This is what I want. I want copies of every invoice that had our product on there. And there's your paper trail. So at the end of the day, this might turn into advantage for a publisher for this product to be sold at XYZ. So who knows?
Man.
But that's what they have to do.
You're assuming an awful lot, Jesse. I mean,
well, no, I'm not assuming a lot. I'm telling you, the judge is saying they have to deal with each publisher individual to sell their product and come to terms. What am I assuming for? That's what the article says.
No, I'm talking about going into that. You know, you assumed everybody did it wrong and Diamond did everything right.
Oh, I know everybody did wrong. Everybody did wrong. Who filed in the first 30 days? What publisher filed?
We don't know. We haven't seen those. You can't just assume everyone did it wrong.
No. Because if they if they did found the first 30 days, they'd already have their product back, or they'd have money back into their hands.
We know
we don't know that. We don't know that though. I mean, how many? We don't even know if any of those people sent. Like the publishers haven't come out and said what they did in those first 30 days. Some of those publishers,
Image did.
Okay,
Image did in their suit,
and the only person
they said. And they said, well, no, you don't know that, Jesse, because nobody else has said it in their statements because they're still waiting to be heard.
No one would file with a lawyer now if they did it right the first time.
Whatever. I can't even deal with that today. Jesus Christ.
Look at why you getting
These
so
are your
mad,
friends, Jesse, and you're ready to stick a knife
in
their back and twist it for a nickel.
You asked me my legal opinion. That's my opinion.
I didn't ask you your legal opinion. I asked for your moral opinion. These are your friends. These are people you brag about talking to on the phone every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now you're ready to buy their bones for pennies on the dollar that you know is going into the pockets of the people who screwed them over. Good job, Jesse. You are the moral fucking high ground in the comic book industry today. Good job.
Yep. Thank you very much. But again, that's immaterial. What you say is so immaterial. Why are you speaking for my company?
I'm not. You're speaking for your company loud and clear tonight.
That is
You're the
what
Darren
I'm saying.
Davis of Jesse James Comics.
Keep on talking. It's just a conversation, man. Chill out.
Right.
Yeah, we're just
conversing here. Shit from it.
Yeah.
And I have no orders. What I'm saying is if a store did order, that creates a paper trail.
They've got plenty of paper trails for the last 9 months, and nobody's given a shit for the industry.
I don't think there is paper trails, though. Is there paper trails? I don't think we know if there's paper trails. I think the question that how many of these publishers have asked for their product and given a list of what product is there. We have no clue other than Image that has done that. Every other publisher, we have no clue if they've done it or not.
But it took 6 months for that paper trail of Image stating in their lawsuit, we asked them to send this to our new distributor, and they refused to. And that didn't get discovered until the judge heard Image on a case-by-case basis. And we don't know what evidence the Justice League of Publishers has to present from 6 months ago, because they're not being given a voice in that lawsuit by that judge, that same judge probably that allowed Image to have their voice and show their facts and their paper trail. And we don't know if anybody else has a paper trail, because that judge will not let them collectively bargain against Diamond.
How many of Emmet, you looked at the sale from Diamond. Yeah. What was the books there? I mean, was there ratio variance? Was there? I mean, what was the type?
There's ratio variance. There's ratio variance, and there are like over 100 pages of Dark Horse, and probably another 100 of IDW. I haven't got through the whole. I wanted to see everything that was on there. I haven't gotten through all of it yet, but yeah, there's a lot of books and ratio variance in there. 1 in 10s, 1 in 25s, so oddball like stuff. GNs,
like the summer sizzle.
Yeah, what they used to have. Yeah,
what they used to have. Right,
not quite as good, but yeah.
So, are there Marvel books in it at all?
No Marvel so far. No Marvel books. I haven't seen any.
Any Image books?
No Image books so far. So far, IDW and Dark Horse. I'm going to zoom through here through the IDW really quick and see what we got after that, because it's all alphabetical.
That's interesting.
And see if there's any Dynamite books in there. So what they're saying is they have inventory counts. If they're doing this sale,
there are Image books. There are Image books. Crave, Creep Show, Bloody Dozen. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Last 6 or 8 months, probably. Let me see what they have after Image.
You can sort by item code so that you can see how far back the year
Marvel.
number is.
There's
Marvel too.
There we go.
And that Marvel has to be 2 years old, at least 3 years old.
They have a Marvel Rivals book. It's an Amazing Spider-Man #5, but it's a Rivals cover, so that can't be too old.
Yeah, and I know Bleeding Cool did the whole list. They put the whole list on their page.
They did. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they put the whole list of everything on this sale. So
I wish they still had DC, because as much as DC has fucked me, I think.
Hey, you can go get all your DC over at Discount Comic Book Service.
Well, yeah, that's a great little segue into our next topic. That is, how has Lunar and Penguin Random House been doing in this time period since Diamond bankruptcy has happened? For those of you guys that don't know, Penguin Random House and Lunar have both been distributing most of the comic books since the Diamond debacle, and we've been following this for a while now. Obviously, we've talked about how even before Diamond declared bankruptcy, there was this issue with shipping and, wasted money on shipping, how they were shipping, how Diamond was shipping, damages. It's been a known thing for many, many years. And to the point where, shout out to Billy Economics and Comics, who's in the chat right now, literally put on his webpage the little icons next to each book where you could get them from, because so many people were like, I don't even want to order if you're going to order from Diamond, because they'll probably get damaged. I'll never get my book for the most part. It was that bad. So it's been about 6 months now that since this is the Lunar and Penguin Random House has been distributing books, and early on, everybody was ecstatic. I mean, everybody that got Lunar books in, that got Penguin Random House books in, they were happy about the shipping, happy about the packaging, happy about getting replacements. It felt great. Okay. I want to know how everybody is feeling now. And I want to start with the guys on the panel, obviously. If you're in the chat, please let us know how you feel. I'll be, putting those comments up. We'll be talking about them. But, and the reason why is because not all three of our retailers on the panel right now are getting new books every week. Emmet, you are getting new books every week.
Yeah, every week.
So I want to start with you. What are your thoughts on Penguin Random House and Lunar over the last 6 months?
So Penguin Random House, they do the double boxing, just like Lunar does. So there's a lot less, but I've seen an uptick in damages. They also ship very weirdly. For some reason, we get books in Gemini mailers. They're not Gemini mailers; they're another mailer, but like they're kind of like Geminis.
Yeah.
A lot of times those books are damaged. And I sent you some pictures. I don't know if you got them. I sent them through Instagram to you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, somebody who's a collector, that's not going to fly.
No. Oh,
These
especially not on, and this is extra money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. And this was part of the Mark Spears triple, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't have any Superman. So then I had to, I put that they were damaged. They sent me 2, but they didn't send me foils. They sent me regular covers. So I don't have a triple foil, which are selling pretty well online. And so here's some Marvel books that, and these are the J. Scott Campbell variant editions. So I don't have those to sell. And yeah, they replace them if they have them. But I don't have them on the week that they're out. That's the most important time to have them.
Yeah, because what happens is your customers are going to go find those books somewhere else.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You have.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, no, I was going to say, and the thing is, like, this week, all our Marvel is damaged. Every single Marvel book is damaged. And what happens is when you place your damage order, you actually are signing a technical affidavit saying you won't sell the damaged books. Right. Until you get your new books. So you can't even say to your customer, hey, here's this book, and then I'll replace it with the new book.
Right.
Legally, right? Technically. Right. So customers, I'm a brand new store. So I'm trying to make a impression to people. Oh, yeah, we're going to take care of you. We got your books. Here you go. We don't want to be already out the gate saying, oh, by the way, all the Marvel books are damaged.
And how are if they're double boxing, they're putting damaged books in a box and sending them to you. They know they're damaged.
Right. They see that it's damaged. So is it a packer's job to pack and look at a book? Probably not. Right. So at somewhere in that line, someone is supposed to be looking at these books and saying, okay, this moves forward, this moves forward, this moves forward. Because when we open up those double boxes, it's impossible for a book to get damaged through transit. It just is.
I know a few guys that work in warehouses, right? Some in the food industry and some in, we have a couple of big Amazon places here. And they have pick rates for pay, right? Bonuses and everything. If they're doing that at comics, are these guys even caring when they're like, if they're on a pick rate, now that they've gotten up to a level that they're having a hard time keeping up with? I just don't know if they're taking the same level of care that they were when they only had, when Lunar had DC and Image, they only had the 2. Yeah. Now they've taken all this extra load on. Can they handle it?
Save that picture, Brian, for after what I say here. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I used to talk to a lot of my retailer friends about this rate. And, and this was back when I was, 3 100 pulls deep. And if we ordered a book that was 100 copies, if we ordered a book that we ordered 100 copies and I thought we could sell 100, you had 80% of that 100 spoken for, meaning polls, picked up on Wednesday, etc. That left you 20% for the wall. If you were lucky, that 20% you put on the wall, you can move 10 of those on week 2. If the book is good and there's good word of mouth.
Right.
On week 3, you might sell 2 more. And if you are lucky after a month, you have 5% on the wall. Now that's 5 books out of 100. That's 2.5 books out of 50. Okay. That's 1 book out of 25. If you don't get those damage replacements for 2 or 3 weeks, you've lost 100% of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as for the taking on too much weight, Brian, can you share that picture? The link. So some young men made a bunch of money on sports betting, and they rented a luxury limo or yacht, and it sank because they hired too many prostitutes to jump on the yacht with them.
Yeah.
I did think about you, Emmett, when I heard this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have done the math.
Yeah.
You gotta know. You got to know how many prostitutes you could put on your yacht, Lunar.
Yeah,
and I think you got a couple too many prostitutes on the yacht.
No big girls.
Well, yeah. What is that? The SSS BBW boat yacht?
Yeah.
Hey, that was those 2 guys. Don't even look at me. I just brought up the story.
Exactly.
Well, you know what we talked about earlier. There's no women watching anyway because they're turned off by comics.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, and again, so what happens is shipping is trend, and you know that if you get someone who trends damages like Diamond did for decades, it won't be fixed. It just doesn't, because what they're doing is they're saying, okay, well, we got a percentage of people that aren't getting damages, and they're probably closer to the warehouse that's being shipped from, and then we have people that get damages all the time. They're farther out. So what's the percentage that is hurting our business?
Right.
And it would be very, very interesting. You know, I've always thought that if a publisher really wanted to do a good job, they would request from the shipper their percentage of damages every month, so that 2 things can happen. Number one, they could adjust their numbers accordingly, and number 2, have a record for themselves when it comes to renegotiating their percentages. Yeah. And I think that's very, very important for a publisher to kind of jump into this game a little bit. If they're not getting damage reports, then they should be requesting those.
The comics industry at this point has fuck all for data. We don't know what the sell-through rate is of anything.
That's been around forever, right? That's what
I'm saying. But that's in today's world, like, data is the shit, man.
Yeah,
right.
This is COVID going forward. The second DC left, DC didn't share any numbers, so Marvel wasn't going to share any numbers, and Diamond, I think, was ordered to not share numbers. And as all of the little Indians ended up leaving, Diamond was left holding this empty teepee full of just shit.
Yeah.
And nobody will share the numbers because nobody wants to look like they're not selling the comics.
Yeah, I think it's that. And, you know, if Dennis comes to me and he says, hey, my company, Dennis Publishing, is at the front door and we want to do an inventory count, do you think they're going to let you in that door? Hell no. I'm not going to let you in that door because that would require actual real numbers being recorded.
Well, but Jesse, you know as well as I do, we offered to give the industry real-time sales numbers, and everybody in the industry
that were
said, no fucking way, not on our watch. You're not going to do this, or we will take away your license to have the software that you're counting it up with.
Yep.
Full on threat. We cannot have these numbers get out.
So it's been a big scam for a long time.
Yeah. It's why do you think I call it a pyramid scheme?
Right.
It's one of the best pyramid schemes ever until Enron ended up not being able to make the margin call.
Yeah.
Jesse,
and then Diamond went bankrupt, and now everything's exposed.
Jesse, I want to talk to you about something. I remember a few months ago, there was something that happened where I remember what it was. Matter of fact, it was for Mark Spear's Monsters book. I never got one of the 1 in 20s that had all our names on it, right? And the reason why is because I told Jesse, hey, put 2 aside for me. Jesse ordered 200 of those books to get 10 of the 1 in whatever. And you never got the 1 in 20.
Never got them.
And you contacted them.
And they responded with, we are out of inventory. That's not acceptable. The reason why is someone would have got those 10 copies.
Yeah.
Where'd those 10 copies go? Right? They're not in, they shouldn't be in the 5%, 15% damage stack.
Nope.
They should be still there. And that's the problem. A prime example, I showed you guys this week. I ordered one of those big cases of regular boards. They sent me Silver Age.
Yep.
And I get this email saying, well, we can't find the invoice with the Silver Age code on it. Of course not, because you charged me for regular boards. That's why there's no Silver Age record.
I bought, do you remember the old dollar poster sales that Marvel used to have?
Yeah, sure.
I remember the quarter ones.
I bought, oh, wow, I don't remember quarter ones. But I got BOGO $1. So they were 50 cents a piece.
Yep.
In bulk. And everyone you bought, you got one for free. And there was a way to determine which ones you were going to get for free. You could order more of the ones that you wanted. And the day I was supposed to get the 2 pallets of my, I think it was 1,500 posters that I bought and the 1,500 free posters that I was getting with them, nothing showed up. And I went to Diamond, and of course they had already invoiced me for the 1,500 plus $1,000, $2,000 for the pallet freight. And I'm like, guys, where's my posters? Oh, we don't know. We'll look into it. And I'm like, guys, you've already charged me for it. Oh, we'll refund you. Okay, you're still charging me for it. I want my posters. Find out where they are. You have to know how many pallets left your truck. Nothing. And the response was, I'm like, guys, you just fucked me out of $20,000 worth of poster inventory.
Yep.
And sorry. No, it was just like,
so
wasn't
didn't this happen recently also with you, Emmet, where you had an order you put in, they didn't send it to you, and there was no
Lunar. All of my one weeks, I got nothing. It said that it had a UPS label made, but it was never picked up. So they did an emergency, but they left out the Absolute Supermen because they said they were out of stock because they had to give me an emergency order. And I'm like, but that's this week's. Absolute Superman was for the week that they owed me, not the week they owed me, but for the week they needed to ship me. So I ended up getting everything for this week, everything for last week, except for the Absolute Superman, which was due out the week that I got everything.
Right.
I know that's confusing, but they're like, oh, how are you out of them? This is my regular week's order. They're like, oh, well, because we didn't ship you last week's. I'm like, it wasn't out last week. It's out this week. They didn't understand. I did get them on the following weeks, but yeah. And then I couldn't find where I got repaid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I paid for my books, and I'm looking for where I got a refund for the other one that I never got. and I can't.
And that's how the shell game is played.
Yep. So what's funny about the poster thing is their thing was they couldn't track posters, right? But then they figured out a little trick. Oh, if we barcode on, we can charge them, then we can track everything, right?
Right.
But it took them a reason why, because they were then make money, not us. They now can track their orders. Hey, we had a barcode there. We scanned that. You owe us $2.50. Not like before where there were no barcodes, you know.
Right.
So listen, when people can make money, they're going to go that extra way. It's just like when CGC would not certify signatures until they figured out that they could actually charge you. Then they couldn't do anything about remarks until they figured out how to charge you.
Yeah.
And that's just the way the market freaking works. At the end of the day, though, there's this thing about new issues, and I know Billy's coming on here soon and he'll want to talk about a little bit about this, but there's this thing about new issues that I want distributors and publishers to know. As retailers get smarter and they want to pay their bills, they're going to stop chasing new issues 5% this week, 10% this week, and they're going to sell back issues, and they're going to sell socks, and they're going to sell vintage shirts, they're going to sell records, they're going to sell Pokemon cards, and they're going to have other avenues now that they didn't have before. So get it done right, so we don't have to move our percentages over to more secure investments.
Well, that's what we kind of talked a little bit about, the whole inventing margins, right? So guys not being able to make money on new books, not being able to get enough old books. So they're doing these fantasy books with covers that everybody love, and they're selling them for $30, $40, $60 to invent margins on a new product that's a $2 product. You know,
well, it's not just that. You're dead on, Emmet. You're dead on. As I'm going to roll it back just a ways. The retailers, the publishers kept ratcheting up that price. Remember when DC was holding the line at $2.99 because Marvel was up to $4.99, and the retailers just weren't giving it. Now, of course, they're paying $6.99 to $7.99. But what happened was, and Jesse and I know this, we used to have $1 3,000 unit Marvel variants. We used to have $2 2,000 unit variants. There was all sorts of this fluctuation, but at a certain point, it wasn't enough for them. And then that's when the variants went to $5 a piece. $6 if you want foil. 3 variants if you want to stagger them, $2,500, $1,500, and $1,000. You know, and it was all of this stuff to get those numbers higher and higher. And for the first couple, the retailers did good. They could sell them for $10, $15, $20 and make a profit. But the second they stopped selling, what'd you have to do? You had to burn 1,000 copies on Facebook so that it was limited, super limited. You had to send them off to get graded and burn everything that wasn't a 9.8 or shred them, you know, and then you got 100 a piece for them. Emmet, you totally nailed it. It was artificial inflation of the margin as demand went down.
Yep.
Billy, I think that you would probably be one of those guys that watches porn on an Oculus by your intro in here.
Yeah, I was, when he first came on, I thought, is he getting ready to watch Jaws 3D?
Dude, I just got this.
Too?
You know those pan-dimensional 3D books?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only problem with them is you got to pre-order like 4 months in advance, so I never sell them. So, because I'm not going to sit there with someone's order for 4 months. But so I just ordered one for myself, and this is the first time I open it. The paper on these is amazing. It's really cool, man. But
All right,
yeah,
dude.
if I had an Oculus, yeah, I'd rub one out, but I don't have an Oculus.
So I want to talk to you because you're a perfect example of a lot of people in this new world of comic retailers who sells a ton of new issues. Mainly, I mean, that's most of your business is new issues, if I'm not mistaken, right, Billy?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I mean, I'm a online new comic book store.
Yep.
I mean, what you see behind you is part of about 5 years of backstock, right? Which is the store. I do have like another 5 years of personal that I did painstakingly have no time. I would love to add it. It's about the same amount as I have here, to really bring some backstock. But I do have a lot of backstop. It's just not like, these guys, they've been doing it there for what, the 20, 30 years plus. So they have probably an incredible amount of backstock, but right. I mean, not me, but I mean, look, I got 5 years of stuff at least.
So what has been, we kind of talked about it last night, but I mean, for the most part, your thoughts on, Penguin and Lunar have been pretty positive over the last, 6 months.
Well, I mean, since this beginning, I mean,
yeah,
the beginning, I mean, it was tough. I mean, since I came on I started the store right when, a little bit before, probably a year before Penguin came about. So Lunar had already started, right? So probably right around Lunar's starting point. What is it? 4 years?
Lunar started in June of 2020, and it was January of 2022 that, January of 2021 that Marvel went to Penguin.
Yep. Well, at least, or Marvel did both. Yeah, because they stayed with Diamond for a while, which is their mistake, but they were trying to be nice, I think. I don't know. But
they had a contract. They had a contract that they didn't feel like breaking at that time.
So, and I understand Dennis's theory of the DCBS, and I think it's possible that sometimes if I go, hey, I need this replacement, oh, we're out, I don't go to their DCBS and look, but of course they did sell them too as a comic book store. And I do believe that if they're going to be a distributor, Lunar, right, they should make sure everyone else is taken care of before they start selling their stuff. But look, I don't know how they work it, but I haven't had much of a problem with them. I will tell you a couple things though that I picked up from your conversation that I can't agree with. But first of all, Lunar knew how to ship books, even though the weight sometimes is super heavy. They're safe. And I don't have as many damage. Like I just undid 2. They're a little late this week, but 2 giant boxes, and I had 6 damages. That's pretty good. And so those damages were packed in there. You know what I mean? From packing, it couldn't have been from the shipment. But Penguin, when they first started, I was the first person to critique their shipping. I immediately went after them. I don't know if you guys saw the videos.
I did. I remember that.
Before they started double boxing, I said, look, you guys, you got to double box. You can't do this. You have to double box. You need to put stuff around and stuff. And they literally responded. They literally 100%. Email me, and they work with me to figure out the right thing. Now, I will say what Emmet was saying. The Geminis that they use, I absolutely hate them. And for some reason, they put the ratios in those Geminis, or they'll put in the indies. Like if you order like 6 Dark Horse or something like that, it'll end up in one of those, which is okay. But a lot of times I get the ratios separated, and I'll call and I'll say, listen, guys, you put the ratios in my big orders because I want them protected. And the Geminis they use aren't Geminis. They have this super glue.
Yeah.
They close it so they don't need to pay for tape. It's a money saver, right? And it's not super sturdy of a Gemini either. It's a little soft. Them. Yeah, they overpack them, and not always, but
no. If you happen to be getting a lot of that whatever item that they send to you. And I don't understand why it comes in a separate thing, because
same with you. But that's where most of the damages do come from. It's usually not the boxes. And the thing with those glue ones is you have to literally hold it down to like tear,
to rip that tear string down the middle.
Yeah, and you got to go slow. And even if you put weight on one side, the other side lifts up. He's got it right there. Yeah. So see where his hand is on the right side? You can see the glue, right?
Yep.
Dude, those things are ridiculous. I mean, I feel like maybe calling and talk to him because I at least had a relationship with them in regard to packing. But like, it's pretty much point. They replace almost everything. I usually don't have a problem with the replacements with them. So that's what's good about Penguin. And if you can process your stuff fast and give them to them, plus you can talk to them on the phone if you need to.
Yeah,
those
I get my books
there.
on Tuesday though, and I got to go out Wednesday. So,
do you really get your books on Tuesday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you located?
New York.
Damn, usually I get mine on Friday. And I'm in Arizona, so I don't understand that. So I usually get them on Friday. My whole process is intake Friday. And
Lunar
then
I get on Thursday. I get
Lunar on Thursday, Penguin on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
I usually get them both on Friday.
Yeah.
I usually get them both on Friday. But you guys are like closer, I think. But intake, and then Saturday is after I've processed everything for damages, and Friday night is bag and board, right? And then Saturday is, because I'm an online store, I ship everything, is getting everything ready to ship, right? Like 1 to 8 books, and then everything else like that's bigger goes in these things behind me.
Yep.
And so into another box, right? Like double pack. And then Sunday is pack day, right? So like I don't have a life, but in regard to that, because it starts all over again, with the YouTube channel and everything else. And so, but yeah, I will. Here's something you guys don't talk about, and I'm not trying to attack. I'm not attacking at all. I am having a problem with one thing, and those of you who are getting from Lunar, I want to know, it's not about Lunar so much as it is the publishers. So what I've noticed is this. Nothing against Keen Spot, but I have noticed early on that they really like their print count numbers. They like to show their print counts. And what that means is you can pre-order, and they only do a certain amount for damages, right? Over. So when you request, sometimes when you request for damages, let's say some Mark Spear stuff or something, it's not coming. Now, whether that goes into Dennis's theory about DCBS, or they are sticking to a print number because they want to show you, look, we only did 18,000 of these. It ends up, the damage stuff sometimes can be a problem but I've noticed it only with 2 publishers. And do you want to know who those 2 publishers are? One is Keen Spot, and I think they've figured it out. And the other is Dynamite.
There you go. You didn't even have to say that.
So here's the thing with Dynamite. You know me, I was very open. I don't know if you watch on my, whether you watch or not, it's fine. I don't care. But for months, I was calling out Nick, dude, move to Penguin or Lunar, hurry up. And he finally did. And I celebrated it that day. I celebrated it on my top 10 pre-orders or whatever. You guys, they finally moved to Lunar. Thank God. Now we're going to have some, there's Nick. Nick maybe be able to answer this for me. And I was so happy for Nick moving to Lunar finally, because damages, right? Because Diamond just did not give a shit about Dynamite book. I don't care. Well, any books, to be honest with you. But
yeah,
I was so happy. And look, I just got my Lunar order in, and everything from Dynamite this week is great. I didn't have one damage from Dynamite, which includes foils and stuff like that. Okay. But I will say this. Vamp 3. Like, okay, so at the end of this wall, these stacks, that goes too deep, right? There's like 20 boxes. And then I have another, maybe this much of like orders between 1 and 8 books, like a short box waiting on Vamp 3, Spears black cover. It's like cover V or cover S or something like that, right? Where I didn't, it wasn't fulfilled all the way. It wasn't even damages. I didn't get those books. And so there are other culprits too from Dynamite. Well, we could say from Lunar. Now that I'm missing and waiting on, and these people, oh, there's also one other company. Why can't I think of their name right now? But they do the gun honey.
Titan.
And so like there are certain covers like bagged ones or certain cover C's or some shit like that, right? That like they just don't show up until like 3 months later. Because I'm an online store and not a brick and mortar, where brick and mortar guys can go, hey, this is what's in this week.
Yep.
There you go. Oh, you pre-order it? Well, it's not here. When it comes, we'll put it in your box, right? For me, I got orders with 1 to 50 books in each order, and they're waiting on one stupid book. For instance, the Vamp 3 that I never got. So I go Lunar, look, where are my books? Where are the rest, or where are the damages or whatever? And they go, oh, we're out. So it's either an issue of there wasn't enough in the first place, or there were so many damages that they replaced what they could. I think there weren't enough issues because I claimed that shit on Friday night, bro.
Hey,
well, you know what I think that was?
Hold on. Can I just add one more that Billy forgot? Or they have an order come in for 5,000 units of every book, and 1,000 of them go over to Discount Comic Book Service, and 4,000 are for the retailers, and 2,000 or 3,000 show up damaged. Guess who got the 1,000 for Discount Comic Book Service, and guess who gets the rest?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I understand. Look, you know, for Dennis, I'm a pretty logical guy. Look, when I went to college, I studied philosophy and logic, right? So let's just put it this way. For 40 years, I'm 50 now, I thought we landed on the moon. Okay, I'm not a conspiracy guy, right?
I'm with you.
I'm not a conspiracy guy.
And I worked in the space industry.
The last year, I've been questioning this whole moon thing, right?
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous because I feel like I'm an intelligent person.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, the more
whatever you do, Billy, don't watch the Y-Files.
But why even waste brain power on that? It doesn't matter whether we went to the moon or not.
It doesn't matter. My point is this. It's like a conspiracy theory, right? And what I'm trying to say to Dennis is, look, Dennis, there is something there. I agreed with you before about it. I understand the theory. But do I think that they have time to go through 1,000 damages and say, okay, well, or 5,000 books and go, they have more than 5,000, bro. But go through, okay, all the damages here for everybody else. Okay, these are the 9/8. These are the 9/8. We're selling the 9/8.
What's the print run on Vamp 3?
Oh, I don't know. Ask Nick. Hey, Nick.
Hey, my question is this. These books, were they the first 2 weeks that Lunar fulfilled our orders? Were they from the first 2 Wednesdays?
I think it's very possible. And I understand that what you were doing was, the orders from Diamond that were already placed that you didn't fulfill. Those were you had already sold those, right? So you were just selling them through Lunar instead, right?
Yeah. What happened was we just moved the orders over, and when everybody FOC'd, we were in a situation where the books were already printed, and we had to let retailers know because a few of the books were number 1s or number 2s that we would normally make returnable, and we had to announce to retailers these books are already printed. We can't do returnability because we're letting you know we can't do returnability because otherwise then people will just order 1,000 copies to get 50.
Yep.
So we had to let everybody know the first few weeks, and that's the big reason why we had allocations. So
yeah, you were kind of between a rock and a hard place at that point.
Sorry, hurt my back. I don't know if this is the same.
You guys, I'll be right back.
The pre-order came in on the weekend.
Can I just ask a question? While you're looking that up, just pause it when you get the info, Billy. We have a lot of people in the chat. I mean, a lot of people who can't hit the thumbs up button, but there's still a lot of people in the chat. Jesse, Emmet, Nikki, Billy. Our social media has, every one of us has at least 1,000 people in our chat that are all comic book fans.
Yep.
I got one question for Billy, who thinks I got a tinfoil hat, but it's only like partially on.
I said I agreed with you.
I know, but it's gonna rip the tinfoil right off. How many people have seen a single person go, Discount Comic Book Service screwed up my order? All my books were damaged from Discount Comic Book Service this week. Has anybody ever seen a single person?
Dennis, let me say one thing, okay? First of all, I heard what you said before, that orders might move to DCBS. I've known Christina and Cameron for over 20 years. I don't think they play that game.
Okay, Nikki, your bread's a little buttered on their side right now.
No. I can be honest. Listen, if I disagreed, I wouldn't even bring it up. I would just not say a word. But there is this constant barrage that if something's hot, they move it over. I can assure you, because that was I trust those guys. Like I said, I've known them for over 20 years. And B, it was a deep discussion. Whenever you see, I don't want to get too far into this, but look, they've got the algorithm, just like Midtown Comics. Just like Midtown Comics, if something is selling out and then Midtown all of a sudden has more copies, the thing that nobody keeps in mind is DCBS, their algorithm, much like Amazon's algorithm, pick up when a book's going to be hot, and then they know to order extras. They keep it church and state. And I will tell you, I don't think DC, out of everybody, I don't think DC or Image would work with them if that wasn't the case. Let me hit one other thing.
So why didn't you, hey, Nikki, why didn't you move to them 6 months earlier and you wouldn't have had the disruption?
2 reasons. One, loyalty to a lot of the people at Diamond. And I did have a loyalty to a lot of people at Diamond. And then when we were ready to move, because we'd had enough, we were put on notice that if we moved, they would come after us and whoever we went with, and we weren't going to. And even though it was very defensible because they weren't paying us, I wouldn't do that to any potential new partners, regardless if it's Lunar, Penguin Random House, anybody. I would not do that. Now, you're bringing up and I'm not trying to argue with you just to argue with you, Dennis. I'm giving you the information I have. The other thing I'll say is our damages and shrinkage, I would say, went down 95% with Lunar. So far, like Lunar's first or second or third week, I can't remember which. I talked to Midtown Comics. I talked to a bunch of big people. I talked to a bunch of small people. Kelly at Buy Me Toys in Illinois or Indiana, I forget which. Forgive me, Kelly. We talked to everybody.
That's why I was begging you to move for so long.
Listen, trust me, like I said, I had the longest loyalty to a lot of the employees at Diamond. You're there for 33 years and you're hoping for the best. And I think it would have been great. In a perfect world, Universal would have picked up Alliance Games and Alliance Entertainment would have picked everything else up. So there's weird shit that happened, and
we know that firsthand. We definitely know that firsthand.
Look, let me jump. Let me
just to finish the one thing. Just forgive me. Midtown, as an example, they had a couple of weeks where everything was perfect. 1 week they had one missing book, and that was it. So when I say our damages went down by 95% plus, it's like you're sitting there like, holy shit, this is how the other side lives. where we're spending less time listening to retailers be in a bad situation, where retailers can actually get the books and not have to worry about calling in damages or shortages, and they can actually sell more day and date. I couldn't believe it. It was surreal. So,
that's like I was saying earlier. All my Dynamite books this week were perfect. Like, it wasn't even about shortage or anything. It was there's no damage. This is so important, especially for your company your company, especially for Dynamite. So important to have that. So these are the books that I was talking about. These aren't the exact ones, but like
Beautiful
Virgin
Mark
Foil.
Spears. Yeah.
Virgin. No. This is the book where I'm talking about, where I'm missing a bunch that I'm sitting on waiting. There was a FOC. I don't know if this non-foil one is the one where it was like, they call it a black or something. I think the top was black compared to the regular cover, cover S or V or something. The Virgin Foils, like they just didn't come. And so, it's kind of screwed me there. And so I think it has to do with the move and the whatever, but I'm to the point now where it's very hard for me, my business, not brick and mortars, okay, to have to call a customer after they're waiting for 3 weeks, a month for orders that should have been shipped out because I'm waiting on one book. It's not your fault. I'm just telling you, it's hard for me as a business to keep doing that. And like I was saying, the main publishers that are the problem in regard to me waiting would be you, Titan, and I said the other one. I forgot. Keenspot. I think Keenspot's kind of fixed it. I think they learned a lesson once.
Well, are you buying
Mark Spears has changed?
Other than Mark Spears?
What?
Are you buying anything other than Mark Spears books from Keenspot?
Well, here's the thing. When the Trump book came out, this is what I was talking about. When the Trump Biden book, they had the Trump profile where he was in jail, and then they had the Biden jail picture. You remember the comic book?
Yeah.
With Trump. Yep. Trump Biden, and they had Trump's mugshot. It was a very hot comic, right? It was a 1 in 10. Dude, I had like 500 things just to get a bunch of 1 in 10s. They were all damaged, and then I didn't get half the order. So Keenspot learned from that, and then Mark Spears came around, and then they started to do print run numbers and not worry too much about damages. So when you request damages, they don't have them. So I think they've learned their lesson. I think they've learned to overprint, stuff like that. I just don't know what happened with Nick, mostly with Dynamite, and of course the most important ones, the Spears Vamps and stuff like that. I mean, those are probably some of your hottest sellers, man.
It sounds like what happened is exactly what Nick talked about. They had to jump from Diamond, where they already had printed the books. And as a matter of fact, Nick, you were one of the we talked about it on the show, and we got to give you credit for that. You put out that press message saying, "Hey, we apologize. It could be if there's more ordered, you might not get your books." You said that first. You stated that very early on. But since we have you here, Nick, real quick, I want to ask you, how do you feel about Penguin and Lunar so far from your position?
Well, I mean, I can't speak about Penguin because with Penguin, it was you have to move everything over to them or to be for the comics, for the book market. They just wanted everything, which I fully understood. So we're with Lunar and Simon & Schuster. So I would say, I mean, look, Penguin obviously is the biggest. They're the largest book distributor in the world, and they are fantastic. And everybody I've spoke to are very happy with them. But everybody I spoke with on Lunar, all the publishers that work with Lunar and work with Simon & Schuster are really happy there. Oni Press Image. I talked to Eric Stevenson and Hunter and got their advice, and both those guys, as well as others. The thing with Penguin Random House is they're really big and they do a lot of great things, but everything has to fit within what they can do, which there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. It's perfectly fine, but we needed to pivot right away. And Lunar and Simon & Schuster were able to pivot with us. And again, look, it was one of the worst situations we could be in. We went 4 months without getting any money. We went from April till August without getting any real money, I should say. But we survived, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, amen.
I have a question for you, Nick.
Yeah.
FOC.
The answer is right now, I'm really happy with Lunar and I'm really happy with Simon & Schuster. And my biggest happiness with Lunar is just how great, and just all three of those companies have different challenges. And I don't know that's just life. Every company has challenges. I would say with Lunar, almost everything we've been doing with them since day one, they've pivoted with us. They've helped us. They've taken care of a few things behind the scenes, a few things they went above and beyond that they didn't have to do. So my experience has been great, but the most important experience for me, I will reiterate, is how few damages and shortages retailers have. I mean, look, they did something for us that I don't think they do. They're very limited on the number of covers and incentives that anybody does, but we laid it out very, very matter-of-factly. All the covers we already solicited with Diamond, we got to keep those going. And any covers where like a Disney or Warner Brothers approved, we got to keep it going, because otherwise that goes through a different round of approvals at times. It has different machinations. And again, they've been just really great. And, I said, I mean,
before Billy,
Dennis, I wasn't trying to be a contrarian just to be contrarian. I just wanted to give my 2 cents that just, I've known Christina and Cameron for a long time. I could vouch for them just like I could vouch for you or for Jesse, people that I've known and worked with for a long time. Even when you do a video reaming me, Dennis, I'm still cool with it.
It's fine.
Hey, Alex just dropped a $5 super chat. He said, Nick, will Lunar take care of 20 variant covers, or do you need to pivot from that? And he just answered that. I'm pretty sure he just did. So thank you for that.
And we are pivoting from it. I mean, we're not doing as many incentives. We're not doing as many variant covers.
Thank you.
And to be blunt, I think that without retailers having to order more to justify their order, like they were doing with Diamond, that the incentives have become a little bit not as necessary. I don't want to say less important, because when they're there, retailers make money, but I'll say not as necessary. So, Tony, every Friday at 7, buddy. Every Friday at 7.
Go ahead, Billy.
I just want to address a question in the chat because I can't figure out how to type it there. Someone asked me if I could just put late books in next month's order with your regulars. So here's the problem. I'm not really having a problem with late books. First of all, they're not showing up.
Yeah.
So I just wait and I wait and I wait. That has nothing to do with the Dynamite. I'm just talking about in general. Books that don't show up can't be put in next week's order. In regard to my store, I am not like, look, I want my store to survive. Okay. And I'm an online store. I do not do pull boxes. Some people don't like that, but they have to understand I am not a brick and mortar. I am not your comic book storage, right? My back issue is my comic book storage, right? So I do the very best I can to show on my store, because they're asking me, why don't I do like pull box system and stuff like that? Because it would end up, I would have to just keep renting out more and more and more and more space to hold everyone's book. So at my store online, I am now putting on every single title. At the end of the title, Amazing Spider-Man #2, Release 9/18. Next, whatever. So if people have to have their book every week, right? They can bundle their orders accordingly. Okay, all from the 18th, they all release. Then they don't have to worry about it. But the truth is, most people don't care. They just order everything they want, and then it gets there, they get there. So I just wanted to answer that question.
But Nick, before you get out of here, I want to ask you a question, and I understand if you can't answer it, but I'm going to ask it anyways. What are your thoughts on the fact that Diamond is having these big sales right now with everything going on with the ad hoc group and the court stuff?
I mean, yeah, we're the other group. The ad hoc group is one group. We're the other group. I'm flustered. I'm frustrated because a lot of decisions are being made on people's product. And it's just, there's a feeling of helplessness in this whole situation. And
Nikki, didn't you listen to Jesse earlier? It's all your fault. You just needed to listen to Jesse and hire a lawyer and ask for your inventory and make sure you had a paper trail and not trust them on May 16th.
Don't even get back into this. What is up with you tonight, dude?
No, it's
what I said was when someone declares bankruptcy,
you said Nikki didn't leave a paper
30
trail.
days to request their product and their inventory.
Nikki,
if you don't do it within the 30 days,
guys, let me ease this for you. I have an email from the trustees from back in February that said that they will work with us to get us our product back. Okay? I have it in writing as part of our fulfilling orders, which we did. And that email only, there was no like, we'll help you within the next 30 days. Right. It was like, hey, we're going to work hard to get out of this bankruptcy. You could take books as you need them. Everything.
So you had a paper trail, Nikki? Why didn't you share that paper trail with the entire industry, especially Jesse, so he would know?
Come on, Dennis. Do you think, Nikki, that the other publishers had the same something similar?
I don't know because I haven't spoken with everyone, and I don't know. What I will tell you this is everybody in our group, the 16 or 17 publishers that's with my attorney, they have seen the email. I have showed it to them, and I have said to them, if you have any correspondence like this, there's no detail too small. You need to go for it. But it is just so. You have no idea how overwhelming this all is. I spent all of July 4th weekend combing through thousands of emails since January and before, just to find everything to put together for the first for the first hearing. I mean, this has been really overwhelming, and we all wish it would have ended differently. It didn't end differently. And it is what it is. It's a terrible situation. And the only thing I can hope is that the industry is coming out of this stronger. I think it is. I think it's a matter of time. See you later, Billy. Great to see you again, buddy.
All right, guys.
Have a good one, Billy.
We'll talk soon.
Remember, Billy, don't trust Lunar.
Well, what's interesting, Dennis? I was talking about the moon and Lunar. Interesting, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Later, Billy. Love you, brother.
Hey, Nick, I just want to ask you a simple question. What are with what has happened, how do you look at the expectations of a distributing house now versus before? And are you more in tune with everything that is going on going forward?
I would say that there was a little bit of is saying it that it was a little bit more relaxed a good way of saying it? That 33 years with the same partner, everything was a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more laid back. I would say that things are because things are going well with Lunar and with Simon and Schuster. It's like, starting a new relationship. It's all new. Yeah. It's all exciting. Yeah. But I will say this. Hold on, I'm trying to read all of these. When you put a bunch of pressure on,
yeah, Rickard,
that's funny.
Brian Rickard nailed it with that one.
Sika Dasonic. It says it in the contract that we own it, that it's consignment. It says it in the contract. They were trying to use a clause in bankruptcy law. And look, we were very fortunate. Look, I will say this. I started calling people, other publishers, the second that first email from Gary Groth published that first email that he was told, or Eric Reynolds or whoever, they were told if you would like to get your product, you could order it through a retailer. When I saw that, I started calling people. And look, I was in denial too when the Diamond bankruptcy first happened. I thought it would all work out. I put blinders on. I wanted to help the people I knew. I mean, we're going beyond ownership, whether it's Marty Grosser or Nance Romer or Tim Lenahan or any of the guys at Diamond. Those were the people that I had the day-to-day relationships with, and they were good people. So
they still are good people.
Blinders on, and when I started calling all the other publishers saying something's going to happen, and I spoke with Archie, I spoke with Distillery, I spoke with Udon, without getting too far into their business, one of them was like, "Oh, I've been involved in lawsuits before. I'm not sure it's worth it." And I said, "Look at the inventory that you have." Yes. And people were like, "Well, we're not sure this is going to go that way. They filed it, but And then all of a sudden, 4 days later, they filed that they want to sell all the inventory out from under us. And I started getting phone calls back like, "How did you know?" I was like, "I didn't know, but considering everything else that's led us to this,
right?
Just went, at this point, I'm taking the blinders off. I went with worst case scenario." And that's when Drawn and Quarterly and Fantagraphics reached out, I think, to Archie or Distillery. And they were like, "Hey, we're putting something together here." And Archie decided not to be a part of it because they didn't have that much inventory there. So it ended up not being worth their while. But like even Eric Erudan, he was like, "I'm not sure, this stuff is valuable, and almost something worse than losing the inventory is seeing it being liquidated into the market and then are not being able to sell it. Because if it floods the market, we're not going to be able to sell it for years." And I got to tell you, they were going to sell it for like 5 cents on the dollar. Right. If that, you were going to see $20. I could imagine you seeing $20 hardcovers at Ollie's for $1.50.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's
we already
exactly
do
what you would have seen.
We fucking already do.
Yeah.
And we have to compete with that now. Ollie's is opening everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? If we're not buying from them.
So, are you? I'm sorry, just to ask. Are you saying that you're seeing a lot of the inventory at Diamond that's currently there end up at Ollie's now?
No.
Well, we have been seeing stuff.
I think that's Ollie's. Amazon inventory. Emmett, I've looked up a lot of those SKUs on Amazon, and I think that's all returned Amazon inventory.
Okay.
I don't have. I have no paper trail.
Right.
But the stuff that's showing up there is stuff that is Amazon proprietary selling items. Nikki, I just want to ask you one question.
Yeah,
and
go for it.
First of all, let me just say, I love you, Nikki. Even when I had to make that one video, that was a long time ago too.
It was.
But even when I had to make that one video, you make a spectacular fucking product. Okay?
Thank you.
And I have bought that product on Spectacular Closeout. And that was you saying, "Hey, Diamond, let's let this product go to the retailers rather than do a 75 or 80% off sale on dynamite.com. And that's absolutely the way to do it. But I want to the question I have for you.
And by the way, I can finally give you an answer to your video, by the way. now that Diamond is done, I can give you. I was always holding back, and you'll find out why in a second. But go ahead.
Meanwhile, find me one of those 9/8s and get it to me, goddammit. But besides that, I, as a friend of yours, a person who has drank many a beer and wine from your open bar, a person who has broken bread with you, I won't touch stuff that Diamond is stealing from my friend for any price.
I appreciate that.
Because that's Nicky Barrucci's shit, and whoever at Cubic Zirconian is selling it, I know that Nicky Barrucci isn't getting a penny of whatever I give them. Fuck them.
Well, what I'll say to you is the good thing is that retailers are sending me the weekly invoices when they're getting product. And what I'll say is that having that data is actually helping to build a case for all of us about how this is happening when the product is supposed to be frozen.
Yep.
So the product is supposed to be frozen and not sold by anybody. So the thing is if, look, I will say this, not that I want this to happen, but if retailers are buying it and making the money, better than all of a sudden one day the book's accidentally disappearing and ending up at Ollie's all of a sudden with the whole, I have no idea how it got there.
Or there's another very big dealer in my area. They go by Neat Stuff on eBay. They buy in our area under a name called Sparkle City. So they have multiple names. If they buy all of that inventory, then offer it to me, isn't it better that I buy it directly from there and send you the invoice?
Yeah.
Then if I'm buying it from another party who's going to put it on eBay for, $1,000
send me the
data,
man. Send me the data. Send me the data for everybody. Distillery, Drawn and Quarterly, Fantagraphics, Udon, anybody, Ablaze, help support all of us. Avatar Press, anybody. You can see the two lists, and let's get that out there. So, Dennis, here's the answer finally to the question about the Batman Damned. So we bought 500 of those to get graded, and then all of a sudden the Batawang became popular, and the orders for those CGC graded came in at over 8,000 units.
Right,
and we had 500 graded, and we were asked by Diamond not to fulfill the order because they didn't want to deal with the customer service headache. And I was never going to dime them out, but now that we're in the situation we're in, it is what it is.
Shout out to Billy at Economics and Comics for just joining the membership. Appreciate you, brother.
I can't remember how many I ordered.
How are we going to take 500 copies and separate it to 8,000 people? And I was like, well, let's cancel the orders and offer it again. They were like, no, because you might get even more orders.
Right,
because
exactly.
The crazy part is, Dennis, the majority of them were 10.0s.
Wow.
They were all there were so many 10.0s that it would have sent, and I was just like, so basically I just ate shit for like 2 years anytime somebody said something, because I didn't want to dime anybody out. And I'm like, look, I can say it's Diamond's decision, but I also decided to agree with them. I deferred to what they wanted, so I can't blame them.
Respect.
But now that we're here, I can be
It's awesome. I will tell you, for someone who has talked to you to 3-4 o'clock in the morning sometimes during this last 8 months, you sound great. You look very excited about your future. You got a good smile on your face. It does look like you're in the fog in San Francisco on your screen, but that's okay. So we are very, very happy for you. Very, very happy for your excitement going forward.
And look, here's the thing. I'm stressed as can be, and my doctor put me on the second high blood pressure pill. But what makes me happy is that I'm still in the game, and that listen, the one thing we worked really hard not to do is we didn't lay anybody off. which was really tough, but we did it. We moved it through without laying anybody off, and all of our creators got paid.
Yep.
And to me, that was the most important thing to navigate through this. To say that I was optimistic that we would get through this took a lot of hard work. But at the same time, I knew that if we started laying people off and slimming back, it would be hard to build back up.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Billy from Economic Comics for not only being a member, but a 23-month member. That's a big deal.
That's awesome.
And thank you to Alex Lodemeyer for just gifting 10 memberships. We love you, brother. And Nikki, I want to thank you because I haven't had a chance to thank you in person or anything yet. And we do have one more question I want to ask before you go. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're not following Nikki's art sale on Friday nights, you need to do it because I picked up this. You guys know me. I'm a huge Watcher fan. I picked this up from Nikki's art sale, and Nikki does a really cool thing where he offers you to make payments on things. You can finance books if you put enough, or finance art if you put enough down. And he gifted the last couple payments to me on this one, and I can't thank you enough. I now own a Watcher Death Scene original art page by Mark Bagley, and I am so stoked for this. So, Nikki, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, man.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm just glad you love it. That's the most important thing. I mean, look, this is why during our art shows, we try and have art at $50 to $200 to get new people collecting. We want to grow the hobby. Obviously, I want to grow the experience as well. To answer Billy's question, our FOC is usually, I'll talk to Vince Lotario about this. They usually have our FOC information by Tuesday. So maybe we're not doing something right by letting them know that it's there so that it can be live a little bit earlier. So I'll talk to, as soon as I get off this, I'll call Vince and I'll have a conversation with him. And for Bryan, we always try and grow readership. It's not chasing variants. I don't think you were here for that part of it, where I said, with the different parameters that Lunar has, there are less variants that we're doing, and which is working out. Again, our orders are going up even without the variants, and I think it's mostly because the damages or shortages are being minimalized.
Right.
And thank you, Awesome Sauce. We're always trying to grow the industry, whether we do it with Humble Bundle, with the digital books and the great deals, or the Kickstarters where we get more people in line, or when we work with some of our rights holders and they promote the comic industry. We're always trying to grow readership. I mean, look, I'll say what I've said so many times. I've been doing this since I was 12 years old. I have no plans to do anything else with my life.
Hell yeah.
My life is family, friends, comics. 3 most important things in my life. And one of the benefits of doing what I do is that I'm one of the few people whose hobby and job are the same thing and can enjoy it. Look, at the end of the day, here's the thing. When Diamond first filed for bankruptcy, I got it half right. I said, look, I've got 5 months of hell, and hopefully by my birthday on May 14th, this will all get resolved. And it got resolved in a way because Sparkle Pop ad populum, I'm not going to say ad nauseum because, that wouldn't be polite.
That. Right. I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But they took over Diamond, and the position, and look, that's one of the things that got me through it, was saying hopefully by May everything will be resolved. And right now, if we get our inventory back, hopefully we'll be back up to speed by February or March. It's still another 7 months of hell, no matter what. If we don't get our inventory back and we get screwed, probably going to be December 2026 before we're 100% whole again. And that's life, I mean, that's just life.
Yeah. It sounds like 1997 all over again.
Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the friggin' truth? It's 1996, 97. Everything was falling apart. But I think that, I mean, I will tell you, in my opinion, what was the turning point in comics after 1996, 97?
Ramita.
And I might be a little biased in my answer.
I honestly think it didn't turn the corner until Ultimate Spider-Man 1 hit the shelf.
Ultimate Spider-Man hit the shelf, but it wouldn't have happened without Marvel Knights. I think once Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti took over Marvel Knights, and they took Daredevil, the Inhumans, the Punisher, and Black Panther, and all of a sudden, Daredevil was the only character that had an ongoing series, but Marvel basically said, we're done with Daredevil.
And that was a turning point.
That's what
I will say this though about all of those books, and as much as I love everybody involved with that, Jesse, how many closed stores from that era have you found short boxes full of every one of those books and nothing from Ultimate Spider-Man 1 through 12?
Right. Yeah.
They were great books. They did not save the industry. It was not until we turned that corner into Ultimate Spider-Man and brought that new market in that wasn't bogged down by, all of the old Spider-Man.
When did they go to print to order instead of printing 100,000 books, 1 million
before Ultimate Spider-Man? It was before Ultimate Spider-Man.
That's the turning point.
That was another catalyst where retailers, Marvel changed the way they did business. But if the reboot, you could say, and it wasn't really a reboot, but if Marvel Knights didn't bring in the quality creators, because you got to think about it, even Captain America, that was Marvel Knights, the John A. Reber, John Cassaday series. Marvel Knights just made everything so much better. Fantastic Four, 1, 2, 3, 4, Grant Morrison, Jay Lee. You had the quality coming back to Marvel that, that you could say was less of the hot flavor and more of all of a sudden, let's package this, let's look at it differently. And who did Marvel Knights and who did the Ultimate Verse? Joe Quesada.
Yep. Shout out to Joe Quesada, who is now back doing Marvel Knights stuff. Shout out to Jimmy Palmiotti, who's now back doing that stuff. I do want to say something really quick, because we haven't talked about it yet, but I want to give a quick plug for the Vampirella blind bags. Listen, Nick, I had to put in an order, man. I bought the original art tier. So I'm looking forward to it. If you guys are Vampirella fans, go check it out. 50th anniversary of Vampirella. This is a great blind bag Kickstarter. You have a $100 buy-in to get the blind bag, 6 books, 6 chances at some amazing books, including some beautiful Mark Spears books. But also, throw in an extra $50, you're guaranteed to get a sketch cover from Ken Hazer. To me, it's worth the gamble, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm looking forward to this. When do you think you're going to be able to fulfill this, Nick, for people that
End of October, because we're already having the books made, with the exception of the Mark Spears book, because I didn't get a chance to talk to Mark before we launched this. We're using a few units that we have of one of his Vampirella metal books. But all 9 other books are the original books, limited edition, whether they're metal or holofoil. It's 5 books plus an exclusive promo card. And something cool that happened today was we've been working on the stretch goal, and we got to the stretch goal phase before we got a chance to put it up. And so we went up today saying, hey, 33,333. We're giving it to you because we already hit the stretch goal. I think other people might have said, oh my God, we got to the point where we wanted to be. Let's raise the stretch goal, get people to spend more. And we were just like, you know what? We got here thanks to everybody who backed us. So we're throwing this in. And we've got something really big for when we get to $75,000.
Link is in the chat, you guys.
Get at 69, actually.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's great. Well,
look,
Nick,
It's pretty much $250 at minimum of cool collectibles. You've got the metal or holofoil book, you've got the buyback book, you've got the exclusive blank, and some of them will have sketches. Although, yeah, you could buy the level that you're guaranteed a sketch, and people love Ken Hazer, so they're going crazy for that.
Can I ask you something real quick? Because we talked about this buyback idea, and I think it's genius, Nick. I think it's one of the smartest ideas in comics. I haven't seen anybody do it yet until you. Explain how you're doing the buyback. Are you going to be stamping them with like a foil stamp that says buyback?
That we're looking at what kind of stamp to use, and I'm going to sign them all.
That's awesome, dude. That's so cool, Nick. That's such a great idea, and I think it's one of those things that the card market has been doing for a long time that people love. I keep all my buyback cards that I get. Any collections that I get, if I go through them all, if there's any vintage cards that have that foil buyback stamp from Topps on there, I'm keeping them because I think it's such a cool thing. I got my first ever buyback in a pack when they first announced it way back in the day. It's just a cool thing. No matter what comic or card you get, I think it's a cool moment to just have that in the industry, and I hope other publishers might, take that type of thing up. Do you have any ideas, and maybe going forward that you might try it with other IPs?
We're going to try it with other IPs. This has been successful enough that we are. Matter of fact, there's a couple of a couple of retailers like Comics Exposure has jumped on this. They actually sent out an email the other day saying, "Hey, we pledged to this." As a matter of fact, thanks, Ronnie. Midtown Comics, actually, if you go to their website, they're buying them. They have the $100 pack up at $200, but they're giving a discount. So you could buy the $100 pack that we have. If you want to spend it with Midtown, they do have it for $160. And also the 4-cover set by Ken Hazer recreating the Vampirella #1 cover. I think they've got that at $900, but we have it at $560 for the 56th anniversary. It's all my QVC stuff, Dennis. It's all my QVC stuff. Special pricing, everything.
I'm getting flashbacks, baby. I'm getting flashbacks.
If there was one thing that I could hope for, and I'm just going to throw this out there, you don't have to say anything about it if you're going to be able to do it or not. I hope that maybe somebody can get lucky and there might be a little golden ticket in there for an original Vampirella #1. Who knows? Speaking of golden tickets, ladies and gentlemen,
I will say this: there will be 1 or 2 or more golden tickets. So, for example, at least one person, if not a few people, are going to get the Alex Ross Vampirella #1 for a few years ago, and they're going for like $400 or $500 signed by Alex.
Well, speaking of golden tickets, Nikki, I want to bring in our next guest for tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Spears.
Hey, the man! How you doing, Mark?
Doing good. I'm flying blind right now. Something happened with my browser. So y'all can hear me and see me okay?
We can hear you and see you okay, brother.
I'll fix it here in a second. I got too many windows open. How's it going, Nick?
It's going.
You doing okay?
It's going a little bit different every day, but a little bit better too.
I remember months ago we was talking, and you said, "Hey, it's going to be 4 months of hell, but you'll come through it," and it looks like you have, man. I'm proud of you, excited for you, and I'm glad that you got the stuff in your rearview mirror now, and you're going straight ahead on trucking. So
that's the big thing. I was telling the guys here that if we get our inventory back, we'll be out of this by February. If we don't get our inventory back, it'll be next December. But you know what? The road is there, and I'm just happy that we're getting the books back into fans' hands. And we're just talking about how great everything is. But speaking of great, I hope everybody bought themselves some Monsters blind bags, because that thing I got to tell you, I got a bet internally with how many you're going to sell. I don't know if you're ever comfortable saying, but I told somebody my best guess is you're going to do 350 to 400,000 units.
Oh wow! I'm hoping to get 100,000.
I think you'll get more than that.
You are the most you go so low.
Hey, if the bar's here and I pass the bar, I'm like, that's a win-win. You know.
I know.
I would love. I mean, yeah, it's in the back of my head. If somehow we could be the #1 comic book in October, to know that as a kid I was able to accomplish something like that, and you know, as I grew up, and then to know that I did it with not a Marvel book, not a DC book, but with Keen Spot, who I didn't even know who they were a year ago. So that would be just phenomenal, you know, in the record books.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing it's in the back of my head, but I'm happy either way. If we don't, I do think it's going to be a big thing. I think it's going to change the industry a little bit. If it's comes off as good as I'm hoping it does, as in people enjoy it, they get different books. Like when they get 10 books, they're getting a good mix and things like that.
That's an awful lot to ask for in this day and age, though.
It is. And for people not to get, again, damages, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And if it all comes off without too many problems, and people see other publishers see that, it's going to be interested in what they do next.
So then we'll have one every week.
Mark Spears, my grandma had a great phrase, and I've heard it lots of times. If its and buts were candies and nuts,
Christmas would all have every day. Christmas.
Family always said if the queen had balls, she'd be king.
That explains so much.
Anyway, well, I'll give Mark a piece of news that I do know, because I do talk to a lot of retailers, and I can tell you that Midtown Comics said that your Bag Monsters book was selling at the same level as Batman #1 by Matt Fraction.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's a big deal. That's
a big deal. Found out 5 days ago they announced the DC KO blind bags that'll be out in October. So I didn't know that was coming, and I'm even in that one. Didn't know, that.
You are.
I'm my own competition now, so that's interesting. Yeah, again, hey, we're no matter what, at the end of the day, we're still in competition in the top up there in October, and that's all I can ask for. I mean, it's amazing to do it all myself and to do all the covers, the interiors, the writing, and then, dude, you know, a lot of people think, well, that's where my job ends. No, I'm having to do all the editing, getting all the covers correct to the printers, and doing all that stuff behind the scenes. So it's daunting, but it's like the reward is there when people are happy, and then when they start opening them blind bags, and I think it'll make people's Halloween just a little bit better. And man, you know, couldn't ask for much more than that.
Along with that, I don't know if you've heard this, Nikki, but I've told the other retailers on the panel with us right now, and my co-hosts, my compadres, coming up the Tuesday night of the release, we're going to be doing something kind of special here. We are going to be doing a midnight, release across the country show where stores across the country can jump on. We're going to try and pick stores that are going to be doing a midnight release for the blind bags. Come on, show us your store, show us, your crowd, show us like what you're doing. And we're going to do a midnight release special, on the channel for these blind bags across the country with whatever retailers that we can get, to be part of this. I think it's going to be something special, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't think of, other than like Free Comic Book Day back in the day, where I used to go to Jesse James Comics back on Peoria and 43rd Avenue at 10:30 at night and get in line for my midnight release of Free Comic Book Day.
Was pretty good late at night, wasn't it?
It was, man. So
700 people in line at midnight, crazy.
It was nuts, man. And I don't think that's happened since, now, like, this could be something special. And I'm looking forward to it.
One note on that, we just found out because we were clearing that with Lunar. Everything's all good. It does look like they have pushed back the release date to the 8th now because they didn't fit the orders. They're saying there's so many orders that they want to have another week of the printing and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like it's going to be the 8th, which, I thought that's probably what's going to happen, right? Better safe than sorry.
Wait, so October 8th?
It'd be October 8th. So that would be October 7th would be when we're doing the midnight, right? So
no. The 8th is, oh wait, the 8th. Okay.
8th is Wednesday. It's the day before New York Comic-Con opens up.
Yeah.
Not the 8th. I'm sorry. That would be the 9th. I'm in 2024.
Tuesday is the 7th.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's also like.
But what he's saying is that on the 8th it'll be in regular comic stores on the 8th.
It'll be in stores on the 8th. We would do the thing the 7th, and then that weekend would be New York Comic-Con. Right?
Yeah. Yep. So it's perfect timing, to be honest.
It starts on the 8th. For the retailers, it starts on the 8th. For the retailers,
it starts on the 8th. Yeah. And I know Tuesday's my travel day, so hopefully I'll be in there.
It's Mark, I'm telling you, worst case scenario, you're in the top 5, but I think you got a really good chance at being number 1. A really good chance. I've got one friend who's buying 500 copies. He's like, oh my God, just for the incentives alone, I'm going to come out ahead. And he's like, I can't wait to open these.
We've added the last couple of weeks. I've added a lot more stuff. That was today. Brian, you hadn't seen those, man. I know
I'm
your
so
face had
geeked about these, man. I am so geeked about these.
And Brian, just to let you know, because I don't think it spoils anything. Those two, there's alternates to those that will actually be some of the unholy grails, right? I don't think I'm spoiling nothing. The reason I did it is because one of the names of the werewolf is One, right? One of one. And it's and the background's a little different. And Frankie, I did the same kind of thing. I played with it like Uno something, and I'll have to let you see it later on. But I thought that was hilarious that I could do something like that. But
I'm so happy about this because for those of you guys that don't know, you guys know if you were Beyond Wednesdays fans, Garbage Pail Kids is my nostalgia button. Garbage Pail Kids and G.I. Joe is my nostalgia button. And me and Mark have been talking behind the scenes about Garbage Pail Kids and stuff for a long time. And this is so exciting for me because I've always wanted to see more Garbage Pail Kids stuff from Mark. He did this amazing Garbage Pail Kids Atom Bomb variant that's going to be for the Kickstarter version of Monster and the Wolf. And there could be stuff in the future, who knows, but this is going to be a big deal right here.
Well, that's what started this is a couple days ago. We're going through the Kickstarter books, looking through them, getting damages and all that. I saw it for the first time in print, and I was blown away. Of all the books that I did, the covers, that Garbage Pail Kid book, I went, I wish I could put this in the blind bag so bad. It looks so good. And then my wife says, we'll just do 2 more. And I was like, okay,
Amen.
That's what I'll do. So I did them. And dude, so if you did get that one, these will pair great with it. If not, you'll have these, and there'll also be a full version. But I have been adding more stuff to it lately.
I gotta correct you, Mark.
Yep.
You can't just do 1 Garbage Pail Kid. You got to do 2, an A and a B.
Listen, Dennis, that's what he's saying. The one of ones are the B.
The one of ones are like the B side. You'd have to. You'll see.
No, you should make a 1 of 1 on top of a B.
Oh, okay. Well, so I could do that.
But there's some things behind the scenes that may come to fruition in the future. You never know.
But what I've been hearing from some retailers is they talk, retailers talk to each other. Of course, y'all are a bunch of retailers, so y'all would know this. They, and I'm hearing back from them, they're saying, Mark, a lot of them are confused that Lunar not Lunar, but Kingspot didn't really give enough information out. We haven't done a lot of promotions or PR or anything, no press release. So a lot of them are confused on like, well, what's all in it? What's the odds again? And all this stuff. And I feel bad because I feel like the ball was dropped there. We should have educated the retailers more on it so they know what they're getting. So that's why I wanted to jump on here tonight, just to say, hey, I know FOC's next week. I want to let you know, put your mind at rest if you're a retailer, if you're wanting to get this or not. We've added even more stuff from when we originally put it on Lunar. We now have 9 Night of the Living Dead licensed covers that I've done. They'll be in there. 500 each are made. So the odds are getting them, kind of high because there's only going to be 500 of each. But we have it where a foil is a 1 in 14 chance. I've seen what they're doing lately with the like DC stuff, and I think Marvel's doing a blind bag in December.
Yep.
So, okay, what's different between my blind bag and their blind bag? Well, with the DC, mine's $5.99. I think theirs is $9.99. Right,
yep.
That starts it off.
Yep.
Marvel, I think, is going to be $5.99. Well, mine has, when I say over like 80 something covers, I could almost say 90. You're sitting there going, yeah, but how many are going to have a different border or something like that? No. You got your basic cover, right? And then I will make a foil version of that cover as well. So when I say over 80 books, there's 51 in print. We call them designs, right? 51 covers in this. All of them are unique. Then I take out of those 51, I'm taking about 32 of those and also making foil versions of those. That's where you get to that. The glow in the dark are only going to be glow in the dark. You can't get that glow in the dark cover another way, right? So that makes that even more rare for the glow in the dark. Those, and then now the black and white that I'm doing, black and white is an actual variant. There's only 5 in there. It's a variant of the base covers because I chose 5 that I really liked and did a black and white thing on it because I think it looks really cool. Because I did it with my trading cards. Other than that, then you have trick covers. There's 5 trick covers in there. And they're just like funny little covers that you might get every now and then because it's a trick or treat. And then there's like one of the trick covers right there where you can see where the werewolf's hands over the bride retitling the book. So then you also have Unholy Grails, which we named that from Beyond Wednesdays when I was on the show. We did a poll, which I love the name. We're going to have 13 Unholy Grails. The tickets are already printed up. I've seen them. They made it on the thinnest paper that wouldn't weigh an ounce, so that you can't really get it if you weigh it, going, oh, I'll figure out if it's weighed. I've seen them. They spent money on them to make them like reflecting and all that, so it's really cool, like a foil or something on it. So they look great. They're going to be inserted in the book itself to where you will not know if you got one or not. So if you open up your book and you go your bag and you say, oh, I already got this, a duplicate, I would look through that book, because if you get one, the Holy Grail, you're not getting a sketch cover. I could have done sketch covers and that would be it. But I thought, no, sketch covers are one of ones, but what if I made a one printing of one cover each? And then I didn't trust shipping them out in boxes because I was thinking, what if they get damaged and no one gets them? So I'm holding on to them when we get them, and then I am going to sign it. It'll have one of one on it printed on the back. There's only one of it. I'm getting it graded, sent back to me, and that's what you'll get. There's 13 codes on one code on each one on the back of it. And the way you redeem it, that's the card, but that doesn't say everything that's there, like the email address. I didn't want to do that because then we'll get flooded. But there's an email address on the actual card. It says take a photo of the card. You can keep the card. And then with that 9-digit number, it's associated with the comic book, and you will get that book sent to you by me. We'll keep track of them. It's like the golden ticket on Willy Wonka. We want to know who got them, right? We want to celebrate it. I'll keep them probably a lot of it, I just got written today by Cover Price asking for all the covers. I said, we can send you some, but a lot of them we want secret because I want it to be a surprise when you open up. Say, I didn't even know Mark was going to do this. I didn't even, I've never seen this character and stuff like that. So, and even sharing those today, I really wanted to share it because I thought there's a lot of Garbage Pail Kids fans out there that might like it. Some people said, man, I really didn't want to know. I want to see it in it. So I'm like, yeah, hey, I understand. So I'm probably not going to share any other. If you haven't seen them already, I think I'm hiding the rest until they come out because I want it to be a thing that people get to experience themselves. So you get all of this, $5.99. I think it's a pretty cool deal. I'm hoping the customers will like it. And we'll see.
Those are pretty good odds too. 1 in every 14 packs. You can also get glow in the dark covers, which is amazing. That's something people have been wanting a long time with Monsters books.
And again, they're their own cover. It's not a variant glow in the dark. It's its own glow in the dark cover. The only way you can get it is that way.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, when you sit down and open one, you might get there's basically 51 covers. And then there's variants of those covers as a foil or a black and white. So there's over 80 something in all, 51 total covers though, unique. Put it that way.
That's amazing, man. Wow. It's gonna be fun. Crazy. Yes, sir.
So,
and the golden ticket, for those of you guys who are asking, Mark was talking about this. The golden tickets are gonna be in the books. The Unholy Grail tickets are gonna be in the books. So you have to open them to find out, which is going to be interesting because some people might not open these and just keep them in the bag, which is
because I'm sure some people will be like, I never want to know what's in it. It's just like trading cards, right? Yeah. That's how I look at it.
As it opens, as people open them, as the tickets aren't found, the bags will go up in value.
Yep.
Yes. It's the same that Magic Magic when they were looking for the one ring from the Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Boxes went crazy until that one card was found, and then it.
And that's what I got this from was the one ring for the Lord of the Rings. When I saw that, my son was keeping tabs on that, right? He just couldn't believe that when they did that. And that's when I went, yeah, I want this printed. I want there to be a one comic, and that's it. And I'm not going to show you it. Besides, like I let you know that there's Garbage Pail Kid ones. You won't know what the other ones are. It's a shocking surprise when you see them. So I want to leave it for that. But just for transparency, this is how I'm going to do that. They're going to send me, I don't know, 5 to 10 copies of this book, right? Let's say it's the first one, the Unholy Grail one. And the reason with Brent Moore is I want to look at 10 books and have my team look them over, and we're going to pick the best one, right? The one that looks most perfect, and that goes to CGC. The other 9 will be destroyed. So they won't exist anymore. Because on the book itself, we'll have it even printed on it. This is a 1 of 1. No more exist. So we're only printing extra at the beginning to try to find the one that's not damaged the most. And then that I haven't decided if we're doing foil, cardstock, metal. I thought metal might get you, usually a little bit higher grade, usually, but some people don't prefer metal. So I'm not sure. So that's something we're still looking at, but we might either, do foil, metal, something like that. That's nicer, at least cardstock. But
I think cardstock's the way to go, man. I mean, I know I love foil, but the only way
I'm afraid foil sitting on a shelf might not look as good as a matte cardstock.
Yeah,
in a CBC sitting up, because this thing's going to be traded or sold, or it's going to be put in someone's collection as a treasure item that they'll never let go. So I'm already thinking of that, and I'm like, I want this to be something that's great to display.
And Mark is very aware of the weight problems, you guys. I know some people are talking about this. He's very aware of that. He doesn't want it to be something where people are weighing the packs to see what's in there. That's why
the golden ticket, as far as I know, what we did was because that's why no medals are in the actual. We didn't do medals for the bags. It's cardstock or foil, which should be who we're going with. Transcontinental is printing these. The weight is almost the exact same. You wouldn't really be able to tell. With the golden ticket in there, the Unholy Grail, they made it weigh less than an ounce. So you wouldn't know, I don't think. I mean, you could try, but we did that, and we also did it on the back to where I've been looking at the because Leg was saying, hey, make sure someone can't just peek in or something. We made sure of that. But I even got it to where somehow if somehow they figure out foil versus regular, right, with some metal detector, I don't know, you still have to open that book up to see if there's a golden ticket inside.
Amen.
So that's why I'm doing this. I want it to be where it's fun for everybody. And hopefully it'll work out that way, and it'll be a great thing. So, but that's my pitch for it. And hopefully, if you're a retailer out there going, I don't know, you can reach out to me if you got any more questions on it. But I mean, again, I think you're going to get something awesome. Again, also, like Nick was saying, maybe let's say the print count's 300,000. I believe we done the math to where you wouldn't have a book overprinted than 6,000 times the base covers. So that's still very low. So, because people are like, oh, you'll have one cover in there that's printed 50,000 times. Nope, I'm not. I could save money that way, but that's not what we're doing. I want every cover in there to be rare and to be limited and to be swapped. So if, one of your customers gets one of them and says, man, I really love this cover, and another one gets this one, they go, oh, I got two of that. You want to trade? That's how I'm doing it. It's like the old trading cards. So
that's cool.
I'm gonna hop off. I want to say one thing to everybody. My hat's off to Mark. Here's the thing. Mark's in a unique position where he's got more success than probably anybody could ever imagine having, and it's come to him quickly. And he didn't do what a lot of people would do, just sit on his laurels, sit there and go, how do I capitalize on every penny on this? He went the opposite way. Like Mark said, it's not that he just writes the books. It's not that he just draws the books. He has to edit it himself. He has to think about it. And I will tell you, the one thing that I see from Mark is that he keeps the passion going. And every decision Mark makes that I see is about, how do I make sure my fans are happy? Because Mark just said it right now. He could have had a book that had 50,000 copies. He could have done half the covers that he did. It could have been a lot easier for him, and it would have been a lot more profitable. Because keep in mind, guys, I want to say one thing, which is really important. Some people may say, oh, but you're drawing the cover, so you're not spending any money. Well, guess what? Mark drawing another cover for the Monsters book is one less cover that he could draw for somebody else and get a big payday.
Exactly.
So every time Mark does a cover for Monsters, even if it's limited to 1 or 2 or 20 or 50, the money that he'll make from that is far less than the money that he would make doing another cover, even for us. When, like I said, when Mark came to me and was like, Nick, I got to cut back on covers, I got to work on Spawn, I was like, you know what? 100% respect. You made a commitment, you're going through with it. So I will tell you that, there are, and I'm not saying creators are greedy or anything else, but he is going out of his way every single time to say, how would I like to see this as a fan? What can I do for the fans? How do I make this better? And again, he is sacrificing to make it happen. He is putting his blood, sweat, and tears, and I cannot be any happier for Mark. I'm so happy that the book is killing it, and I really do think you're going to be in that 350, 400 range. I hope I'm not wrong. I hope I didn't build up something really high, and you be like, Nick, you got my hopes up, man.
Yeah, I only did 70,000. What's wrong?
Right? So, but I mean that, like, everything, every time, every conversation you and I have had, you know, it's always been about how do I'm doing this because it's important for the fans. And again, you're saying such magic words. Like, I think the one that we're going to have the most of is 6,000 copies.
Yep.
It makes it. And Derek says he'll take the over. So if we got an over under, Derek's taking the over.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man.
But I think it's promising to hear that Lunar needed an extra week. I mean, to me, that just solidifies. I'll put it to you this way. That makes me feel like you're at least at 200,000, because that's saying something, that they need an extra week. And, you know, that goes back to what I said about Lunar too, about how much they care. I'm not saying that Diamond would have done this, but it would be so much easier to just say, all right, we're going to push some of the other publishers aside because we want this out October 1st. Yeah. Instead, they sat there and said, we want to do it a week later because we want to make sure we do it right. And that says a lot about them too, you know, because getting Mark's book out a week earlier would mean a lot more money for them that week earlier. Instead, they're looking at the long game. So
yeah,
New York Comic Con is going to be insane, Mark. I wish you were going.
I do too.
You would be, I swear to God, you would be up there with Shatner at New York Comic Con. You'd be the person people be looking for like crazy.
I agree.
Man, it is weird. It's coming out the same week as New York Comic Con, so that's interesting. But
I think it's perfect timing. It could not have been better. It could not have been better. So I'm really happy for you. Listen, this show should be about you guys and the fans. So I'm going to hop off because I probably talked more than I should have to begin with. Thanks, Brian, for plugging the Kickstarter. I really appreciate it, man. Jesse, everybody, Mark, be well, guys. And Mark, congratulations. I couldn't be happier.
Thanks, Nikki. We appreciate you, brother. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Take care, guys.
All right. Yep. Later. Mark, this is going to be fun, man. We're getting close, and I think that it's cool. I know that a lot of retailers are watching the show right now, and I think it's cool that you came on to kind of just give them an idea of what, you know, you're planning and what your hopes are for this. This is going to be a big deal, and we kind of talked about to double up on what Nick said. You know, it's a big deal that this is all done right and make sure it's done correctly. Like, you don't want anything to go wrong on this. This is a big deal. And that's
why I've been working a lot extra lately, even though I work a lot normally, just because, you know, we have to have the covers in at a certain time. We have to have the book there at a certain time. We have to have all this. The bags are already there. They, you know, had a hiccup on, they had to be vectorized and all that stuff with, so the thing with, this though, the biggest thing next will be shipping. We got to get it out by the 8th. And when it's shipped, they got to make sure there's not many damages. And then they also have to make sure it's a good mix.
Random.
Right?
Yes.
So
that's going to be the hardest.
That's going to be the hardest. They're promising me they can do it, but they've never done something. This has never been done before. What I'm doing, if there's magnitude, this many books, maybe it makes it easier for them because, again, there's so many books. It's almost random if they put one of everything in just one box, right? We're usually one box is about 150 comics. They put one or two of everything. There's your mix right there, just about, you know. But I know some things are going to be more rare. But hopefully they can do it. That's what they've promised. In the card industry, when I've asked them, I've never had a trouble about the mix, you know, when they've done that in card packs and stuff. So hopefully they know what they're talking about and we'll be able to do it. So I'm excited. But yeah, I'll be stressed up until probably about a week or two afterwards when people start opening them. I'll be really stressed on the show that night when we're watching people open them, ripping them open like Christmas presents, going, please God, let the next one be different, because You don't want, like Jesse had to say, Mark, I got 10 of the same book here, and I'm like, oh gosh.
What was the one that Clutch got recently, and he got all the?
It was the X-Force, the X-Force, and the Big Rig books, which that's a different thing altogether. But real quick, there's been a couple questions about the Monster and the Wolf Kickstarter. What's the updates on that?
We started going through, of course, last week. We're bagging boarding now. We went through the damages, got those set aside. We did discover, I guess with that many covers, I'm not sure, that some covers that were supposed to have been like cardstock were foil, and some that were supposed to be foil were cardstock. And then some that was, because they're printed on, there's a sheet right when I give it to them, the cover number, what it's supposed to be, how many. Someone messed up on looking at the sheet, and so like one book was printed a line down lower where it was supposed to be 50 copies, and one book was printed with the copies above it, right? So we found out these problems. So they're going to have they're going to back and fixing those, to get me what I ordered correctly. So I'm thinking, and I told them this is a priority. I know it's their mistake, but I told them I will pay for the mistake. I will pay for the correct, shipping, double box it, do everything you can to get it to me, because money's no object right now. I got to have these in the hands of my fans. I don't care what it costs. So they're supposed to be doing this high priority. They said, hopefully 2 weeks I'm good. And we're still like starting to ship in about 2 weeks is what we're hoping. While I'm waiting, I mean, that's only a few books. So, you got, maybe that's happened on 5 or 6, 7 of the covers. While I'm waiting, I'll be signing and numbering the other ones that I had, that I'm supposed to do, where they're limited to 100 and all 100 are signed and numbered. So I'll be doing that. We're getting all our shipping boxes ready. We got the shirts ready to go. We'll be going, separating those all by sizes and everything else. So it's when the 3D glasses are being printed, it took them a little bit longer. Dude, those were the most impressive thing I've seen, was those. And I couldn't believe the books. I brought them home because I didn't know. When you look at them, they look like a normal cover, kind of. When I brought them home and put on the 3D glasses, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, this is amazing how it printed so well, because I know it does it on cards. So I was thrilled to death. So cool. I'm happy with those. It's made me actually go, okay, I think I will do an exclusive to Monster and the Wolf myself. And I ordered extra glasses because the one that I will have will be a 3D one like that.
That's cool.
So you can buy it from me, because there was no time to put it in the 3D glasses in the blind bags. Plus, people would tell, oh, it's a 3D one. There's glasses in it.
Yep.
So I couldn't do it. But me, myself doing it, I was like, I'll do a 3D cover. You can buy it from me when the book comes out, and I'll have a pair of 3D glasses, put in the back of the boarding. The back of the bag and board. So, because I love it to death, and I was like, I got to do one. So that helped there. But man, everything's coming together. It all looks good, and then I can move on to the Christmas.
We don't even want to get into that right now, because that's a whole.
I don't even want to think that's coming. But I'm thrilled to death. I'm glad we got to add the Night of the Living Dead. I'm glad we got to add the glow in the dark and the black and white. Everything looks great. I went through the covers. I even picked out ones. I went, I don't know, is that a great cover? If it doesn't make me go, I would want that cover by itself. If that's the only one I got, I threw it out. I got rid of it. So I think every one of them's a winner. So everything, because I don't want it to be where some kid goes and spends $5.99, gets one of these, opens it up, and goes, I got the crap cover. I don't want that, right? I want it to be where everyone's a banger cover, where you're like, yes, look what I got. That was my goal. So,
well, listen, you guys, this has been a crazy show and a great show. I can't thank enough people for joining us tonight. If you're still hanging out with us, there's 123 of you watching live. Please hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys contact your retailer, your local comic shop. If you haven't, ordered any of your blind bags, please do. Check out the Vampirella 50th anniversary blind bags. The link is in the description. We've got a lot of stuff that's coming up in the next couple months that's really exciting in the world of comics. We didn't even get a chance to talk tonight about how you deal with customs and selling at cons in different countries and stuff like that. We will hit that next week when Dennis is here to talk about it. And we didn't even get a chance to talk about Tidal Wave either.
Right.
We will, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that next week as well. Tidal Wave had a 60% off sale, which was just full of tons of books, and then they pulled a bunch of them. We'll get on that next week. It has been a crazy show tonight. We are almost 3 hours in. Before we leave tonight and shoot the shit backstage, Jesse, do you have anything coming up that's exciting for the shop?
So we have reinvested our money in a lot of things. So we're reinvesting in hats. So we're then be carrying vintage hats. We figure vintage hats have to go with vintage shirts and vintage socks. Well, socks are new. We don't want to sell vintage socks. That would be kind of weird.
Some people you'd make a lot of
I don't
money.
know. Based on what people are spending, who knows? We started to do this crazy thing. We kind of, in the vintage world, you want to buy like 5 of something and then test it. So what has been hot this week is Mr. Potato Head stuff.
Wow.
So we bought Mr. Potato Heads with Mr. Potato Heads inside the Mr. Potato Head. So that's our new venture. So I'm expecting a Mark Spears, Mr. Potato Head exclusive pretty soon. And then just 2 quick pickups. We end up getting this cool KISS FM auto scan radio from 1998. So it's actually a radio for KISS.
Cool.
Oh, that's
and
very
it's just
cool.
little cool thing there. And then the other thing I picked up at a estate sale, cool football bank from 1935, 1936.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And so we picked that up. It works great. The player actually runs in and dumps the quarter into it or dime or whatever. So yeah, good stuff. We're always out there, but I think the biggest thing is in this new concept of the boutique store, customers are always coming back looking for something new categorized or in a new category. So that's the challenges we face. We're then continue to pivot and bring in cool stuff. Listen, we're on 6 weeks. Socks has been the #1 selling item every freaking week. So we are then rock and roll and sell comics and everything else. We're going to sell a ton of blind bags. That's going to be the fun, cool part. I want to mention one thing. Mark said fans and people, which I have here on my note, 37 times during that time. So if you don't think art is about the people and fans, I don't know what planet you are. Yeah, you must be on that Mars, or what was it, the lunar moon talk that Billy and Dennis
sitting
were
on the roadster that's flying around the sun.
Right.
Emmet, what about you, brother? You have anything cool coming up for Haven for Heroes?
We do. We have William Sadler from Shawshank Redemption. He was the president in Iron Man 3. He's coming to do a signing September
Bill and Ted.
6th.
Demon Knight, man. Come on,
yeah,
Demon Knight.
Yeah.
That movie was awesome.
He has over 200 IMDb listings, television, movies. So
awesome.
Yeah, he's super sweet guy. He's pretty local. I'm hoping this will get, like, there's a lot of people that live. Mark Ruffalo is not far. Neither is Dean Morgan from Walking Dead. Like, all these guys are really near my shop, but it's hard to get them in. Larry Hama lives like 10 minutes away, and getting them into a store is tough, man. they, you know, conventions they do, but like just doing a shop. So I'm hoping this kind of, you know,
opens it up for you. Yeah,
opens it up. Yeah,
exactly.
That's awesome. Well,
and I did like I did over $3,000 in 70s horror mags. 3 different people came in and they were looking for, that's what they wanted. Creepy, eerie, Tomb of Dracula, Scream, weird. What is it? Weird World? No, what is it? Weird? It's just Weird, I think, is the name of it. All the Curtis and Harris stuff from the 70s, fucking flying out the door, man.
I'm hearing that's like the new pre-code horror, right?
Yeah.
The pre-code horror is too expensive, so they're going for the magazines now because there was tons of them back then, right?
Remember Fangoria? I hear Fangoria even sell too. So
yeah.
Okay, so tomorrow night, you guys, Wednesday night review. Sienna from Bad Idea is going to join us. She's going to be showing off one of those new stake through the CGC covers for cul-de-sac #1. I'm really looking forward to that. Sienna is an amazing person in this industry, and I can't wait to introduce her to our audience. She is just really great, super cool, and she is killing it over there at Bad Idea. So she'll be joining us tomorrow on Wednesday Night Review. And then Thursday night, we'll have another live sale. So make sure you guys are subbed up to be on Wednesday's YouTube channel to figure out where that sale will be and what time. And then, of course, Friday night, House of Stein. Saturday night, Modern Comic Mayhem. And then we do it all over again. I thank you guys so much for supporting this channel. I want to shout out Alex Lodermeyer for multiple super chats tonight and donating memberships. Patel Felipe for multiple super chats tonight. Shout out to Funhouse Comics for the super chats. Ronnie, thank you so much. It was good to see you back in the chat tonight. We appreciate everybody who supports Beyond Wednesdays, not only watching the shows, subbing up to the shows, being part of the sales, and being patrons of the channel. You guys make this channel happen, and thank you so much. Shout out to my compadres who make the show happen every week. We'll see you guys next time. Adios.